Ladies and gentlemen, if you don't know, now you know. My name is Dave. This is LoFiTrader. Listen, what do we do here? We do live commentary, live stock analysis, and of course, live trading right here in front of you every Friday. And we do a stock market watch list on Sunday, so join me for that. If you want to be a part of it, just hit the subscribe. Now, this is a live show, so what are we going to do here? It's pretty simple. We're going to go over the news first. What do we have that's upcoming that's very volatile? The overall market. We're going to check the SPY. We're going to check the IWM. We're going to check the Russell 2000. We're going to check the NASDAQ. We're going to see what's going on with the overall indices, simply because then we can find where that breath is headed. Then we're going to turn down my sound so I don't have to hear myself jabbering 2 seconds after I said it. And then, of course, we're going to go over earnings. Earnings is a big one. You know I like to play earnings. So we're going to make sure that we have it up to date on what's going on with our earnings gap ups. And then finally, I'm going to catch up on the chat. You guys know I love to keep up on the chat, so we make sure I'm your voice, because I want to be here for you just as much as you want to be here for me. So let's get right into it, baby. All right, guys. Well, let me go ahead and just send a few chats out to let everybody know that we are up and going, baby. All right, cool. So we are going to start off right away. I'm going to let you know the news today. We don't have any catalysts coming out. Usually they don't have much going on Mondays or Fridays. So we don't have PCE or CPI or any type of data in that realm where we need to really keep an eye on things, okay, when it comes to that data dropping. So no data today. We don't have to worry about that. We do want to look right away, though, into the overall market. Now, I love the fact that it's been 2 weeks since I've given a live stream like this, just simply because last Friday we didn't have anything going on. Muley's already in here. Good morning. It is good to see you, brother. Good to see you. So what we're going to do is we're going to run through my Fang Mang. We're going to run through the SPY, the IWM, the NASDAQ, the Dow Jones, and we're going to see where we actually sit right now. And I think the analysis that I'm going to give you might surprise you. So let's keep that in mind, guys. Ready? So the SPY, the first thing that we want to look at is the daily. Where are we sitting? Right in this 410 area. And if you guys remember, that 410 area is the inception of this YouTube channel. When we started, we were sitting around that 410 area, and I've been with you here ever since, saying the same thing so we all can learn and be like-minded individuals, so we can find our confluency through the time frame, so we can find those trades and make that money. So the SPY is sitting above the 200-day moving average, not to mention, but I'm going to, it is curling up to the north side. We love to see that as long-term growth investors, right? Or even if it's short-term, okay? But if we're looking at the daily, we're looking at the bigger picture here, right? And the bigger picture tells us that is it looking healthy? Yes, it is, because it is above a 200-day moving average. Also, it's curling to the north side. And if you look at the overall SPY on the daily, when you start to see this curl here, and it's above a 200-day moving average, a lot of the time, and almost every time, when you start to get the curl and it's above a 200-day moving average, that usually is a bullish signal. Now, I'm not saying we are going to head to the north side from here on out. We may have found a top. We sure may have. But we need to look over everything so we get a better idea of what's going on. So the SPY is above a 200-day moving average, sitting at 411 exactly right now, and we're going to see if this thing wants to continue to head higher. Now, what I do want to point out, because there are a lot of bears out there, as there should be, guys, we are at these tops. We are at a trading point right now where if it doesn't hold, we could definitely flush. Now, where would that flush be? Simply put, that flush, I would still feel comfortable if it came all the way down to this $400 area. Why do I say that? Well, one, it's psychological, and two, we have a lot of support here. This is the new higher low, okay? Here's our base in October. Am I right? Yeah, October 12th, 2022. We found a base. We found a low of 347.92. Then our new higher low that is very clear as day is 374. And the next one we put in, we were here doing this live stream for you at 381. Okay, so with that being said, guys, we cannot just go straight up, and that's all we really have been doing here. We've been following this trend line, heading straight up, and even forming some gaps here, which is absolutely beautiful to show that strength in the market. But you know I'm a bear with bull horns, guys. I always want to see the market heading to the north side, but we can't just be old faithful to the high and mighty green that we're always going to go to the north. There's always going to be some pullbacks. So in this area, I'm expecting some pullbacks, but where will it pull back to? That's the real question. Now, if we can hold new higher lows in this area and just trade sideways, that's going to be very, very good for the overall market. Sideways is good action for the bulls. Pullbacks, finding new higher lows somewhere above this 400, to me, is still a bullish signal. So yes, we might get a pullback, but we need to keep our bull horns on, keep them sharpened, so that way when we do find that pullback where that base is, we might want to take off to the north side. Now, that being said, this 410 is a key area. It has fought numerous times, and I'm just showing you a little excerpt from most recent, right, since October. That's all I'm showing you here. Now, if we zoom all the way out, you can see that this has been a very, very interesting price action area for a very long time. So if we keep a look on this 410, we might get a bounce off this 410. And as you guys seen yesterday, that key price action area there is very, very pivotal, okay? Very, very pivotal, guys. So we're gonna keep an eye on that 410, and we're gonna see what it wants to do here. But I do want to keep in mind, I've been seeing distributions across these plays, and we'll go over that very, very soon. So let's check the IWM, the Russell 2000. Ladies and gentlemen, this Russell 2000, if you remember back in our inception at 410 months ago, we had the IWM actually looking the strongest. Well, what ripped IWM's throat out? to put it very bland, right? What ripped IWM's throat out? Well, simply put, the financial institution, right? The financial market ripped the throat out of IWM. Those 2,000 shares, a lot of them have the banking industry in it. B. Stewie from the Nerve Center. You know, B. Stewie, I just got to take a quick second out. I'm drinking some Nerve Center coffee right now, brother. Yes, you can get your very own Nerve Center. No, only kidding, but B. Stewie. I'm Sip Sawana, baby. Let's go. So, ladies and gentlemen, what are we talking about? IWM, beautiful play right here. But again, you're going to hear me say this, it's looking like a distribution day on my 15-minute chart. Okay, what is a distribution day? Well, a distribution is showing that every time we get a rally or a pop, you can see it getting sold off. Now, it is holding new higher lows and new lower highs, so this doesn't look so much like a distribution. Distributions have these key flat bottom areas. Now, you're not going to see so much the distributions on these ETFs rather than stocks, but it's what I'm trying to use, the terminology I'm trying to use to help formulate an opinion on this market. So let's look at the old NASDAQ. The NASDAQ 100 is still relatively strong, guys. It's just kind of trading sideways right now. It's actually looking like it's really leading this market, that and the QQQs, but we'll continue to keep on taking a look at that. Now, the NASDAQ 100, when it's up this high and it's trading sideways and you get these tops, this 131.91, if it can't break through this, it's a sign of weakness. And it's not saying it's going to just fail and then we're going to find new lows. All I'm saying is we're due for a pullback, guys. Stocks do not go straight up, as you know. Stocks don't go straight up. Now, if they did go straight up, we wouldn't have to invest too much or worry so much, and trading wouldn't be so hard, would it? But I'm here to tell you trading is hard, and that's why I got this red submarine right behind me, because sometimes it can feel like you're underwater. And then on top of that, when you're doing live commentary trading and stock analysis, simply put, you really can feel the pressure. So that's why you always revert to the mean and you realize what is actually going on. You zoom out and you get the overall, the bigger picture to see what's going on. So let's look at the Dow Jones Industrial. Now, I remember when we were seeing the Dow Jones crack this trend line. I had this trend line drawn for you guys. Let my charts wonk out for a quick second. I drew this trend line here for you guys, and I talked about if it cracked, you know, we could get a good flush, and we did. We got a very good flush, and we found support down here at 32,632, right? And then it broke again, ripping higher, now above a 200-day moving average, trading at 337.86. So the Dow Jones is looking pretty strong, but do keep in mind, we are in a big pocket of resistance in this area. So it's going to need some time to prove itself. But again, it looked like it's curling over, that it wants to head to the south side. Okay. Now the QQQs, let's take a look at them. Now, the QQQs have been an absolute terror run to the north side, above a 200-day moving average, and it is curling very well headed to the north side as well. So right now, the QQQs are trading at 315.24. Looks like we're getting some pretty interesting action, but the thing is, if we look at this hourly, one of the things that I wanted to note was that it does look like it is curling over. So we have this huge push right here, right? A big pullback, and it's finding this level at 313, 314 area, and it's holding those levels. It looks absolutely scrumptious at these levels. But if it can't hold and it wants to crack, my next area is going to be down here at this 303. Now, there is a lot of price action here. But I really think if we can't hold this what I'm going to call a cup for this scenario, if it can't hold this double top and this big base, we can crack to its nearest next psychological and technical area of support. So let's keep an eye on the QQQs. This might be a good risk reward play to the north side, trying to play back up here in its range of 319. But as of right now at 315, I'm going to say we're diddling in the middle, as they like to say on Trader Live. Now, if it breaks down to this 313.50 area, that might be an area where we're going to look to take some longs, right? But we're going to need some time to see it play out because, guys, it's 8:11. We are here for pre-market prep, and I am glad that you are here for pre-market prep. Pat yourself on the back. A lot of people are still sleeping right now, when in actuality, if you want to make money in this market, you need to be here for pre-market prep. You need to see what's going on in the indices, and you need to get a relative good idea. It might not be good in hindsight, but you need to get a good idea of what you want to play, what your levels are, and stick to your plan. Be disciplined when it comes to that. So before we start heading out and start looking at all the big cap names, all the techs and all the earners, what I want to look at is the dollar and the VIX, the volatility index. So now, why are we looking at the dollar? Well, because the dollar is going to show us a little bit of what's going on with inflation. So if inflation comes down, usually your dollar is going to go down. If inflation's going up, the dollar is going to go up. And there's some correlations to that. We're not going to go too deep. I just want to see where the dollar sits, because if the dollar starts rising up, I think that we're going to have more issues down the road. But with inflation coming down, with the dollar coming down, we still might see bullish continuation in the overall indices, in the overall market. So keep that in mind, guys, that the dollar is still sitting down here at 101.77. So that looks nice unless it wants to start popping off. But as of right now, things look good for the overall market with the dollar. Now, the VIX, as you guys know, we have not seen this low of volatility in a long time. Now, I did take a few trades yesterday, and I could tell when I was trading, simply put, there wasn't a lot of volatility. And I shouldn't say a lot of volatility. In the trades I was in, there was a lot less volatility than usual. So, you know, we do need to be careful, though, because when we get down to these lows, you see these spikes back here. When we get down to these lows, you can get very, very quick spikes in the volatility, right? So keep that in mind, guys. It's not that it's going to happen today. It's not that it's going to happen tomorrow. It could happen at any time. Right now, we don't have any crazy earnings coming out. We don't have any crazy data coming out today. We just got a crazy commentary. Bleh, I can't even talk today, so maybe you ain't got one of those. But let's move on to Netflix, guys. So Netflix, wow, how interesting. Now, New Vision, if New Vision's with us, I don't know if he's made it in here just yet, but he has watched Netflix back in the day when I was trying to take this thing out on the way up. I was expecting this area to have some more resistance, and it did not. And this thing just kept ripping to the north side on volume. Absolutely beautiful and awesome job for anybody who took this trade. I just couldn't find any real conviction in Netflix, unfortunately. So it got a couple bucks of mine, but no big deal. Now, looking at Netflix, you can see where I had this line drawn out, and it found its resistance. The lines that I have drawn here, guys, aren't tried and true. They are just a guide to show me where I might want to take a long, or maybe take profit, or take a short sale trade. So all these lines are my key areas that I've drawn out. They're either double tops or very volatile areas of price action. Okay, so I like to use VWAP on the daily for that to find those price actions, but we'll continue and we'll talk about that a little later. So my analysis on Netflix is it looks like we found an area of support right here around this 317, and we have a nice little bounce to the north side, but it found its resistance above at 331. So right now where Netflix sits is right in the middle of an area of support and an area of resistance. So let's go ahead and keep that in mind, guys. We don't want to just grab trades when they're sitting at one spot or the other. When you put money into the market, you want it making money for you right away. So Netflix playing in the middle here, not my cup of tea, because you know I like coffee. Cheers. Microsoft. Now, this is very interesting because if we look at Microsoft, it's almost right here at its lows. So this lows that I drew out is 282.61. Now, if this 282.61 wants to hold, maybe Microsoft sees a nice little bounce back up to this 290 area. So this might be a nice little trade if it wants to come down here. So what I'm going to go ahead and do is just create an alert for us, guys, at or below this area. So that way, when it does get down to here, we can play this. And what do I like to do on this? Well, I like to grab a few shares to the long when it's sitting at a base like this. And I like to hold. When I hold those, I'm going to play the range and I'm going to get out 1 at VWAP, 2 at high of day, and then I'd like to leave a piece to run. So that's my idea for Microsoft, M-Soft, old softy, just hanging out right now at 284.71. If it wants to come down a little lower, depending on how the overall market is, I might just grab me some tasty little shares to the north side. So we're gonna have to see how the overall market's cooking up. Now, Amazon, this is some good news, guys. AMZN. Amazon's looking really good here. The one coral I obviously will have with Amazon, and if you guys know me, you know what I'm about to say, it is still below a 200-day moving average. That's never good for a stock, but I have to give Amazon some props because it is above that $100. I can't call it a pooper scooper of a stock anymore because it is trading above that $100 area, but still below a 200-day moving average. We do need to keep an eye out. We might see another pullback out of this thing, and it might go deep if we're not careful. So keep in mind, always use risk management, and let's make some bread, okay? So Amazon overall is looking very nice here, creating this curl, creating new higher lows on the daily and on the hourly, and it looks like it's making new highs so far. Is that for the year? Let me just check. No, that's not for the year. The highs for the year is back here on 223.23. I'm sorry, 22.23. So it's not the highs for the year, but it's definitely up there. It's definitely getting up to those highs. The highs of 113.21 for the year, just above that 200-day moving average. So we definitely want to keep an eye on AMZN. It is looking very, very nice in this area. Next up, we have Meta. Now, Meta, wow, what a beautiful stock. This has been just an absolute mover to the north side. We do have earnings coming up on the 26th, guys, so that's just in 5 days. 5 days, we have earnings coming out for Meta, M-E-T-A, currently trading at 210.96. Meta looks kind of like Microsoft in a similar sense where it's coming down to meet this base, okay? So this is its recent area. We talked about this quite often, this 205 area. If we can get Meta to come down here and test this area, that's definitely an area that I would not be shy to taking a long in. Okay, so right now we're just kind of playing in the middle. Maybe it wants to hold these new higher lows, but personally, it would be hard for me to get on board with something like this until it came back down to test at least 208. These tops back here from this area in March. Okay, so if we can get that test, if we can get that pullback, we can get that test of this area, which I'm just going to create another alert just so we know as a group. If it's at or below, bada bing, bada boom, it's going to alert us, and we're going to do what we need to do to extrapolate some money out of this market, baby. So next up is NVDA, NVDA, now trading at $270 even. What do we have here? Well, just like some of the other stocks, but not like most, it is trading right there in the center of its range. What range am I talking about? Well, the peak at 281 and then the base of 263. It's trading at 269, so right there in the middle, guys. So what I'm looking at is it needs to hit this high or it needs to hit this low before I take a tasty little trade. Now, if we get to move in during the day, we get a nice spike up and it wants to pull back to VWAP and everything looks very good. A day trade might be in realm to play off that VWAP like I've played many times before on this show, but I want to see how the overall market shapes up. And if not, I'm not going to be taking a trade in the middle of a range here, okay? So we're going to keep an eye on NVIDIA. It's still looking very healthy. This is one of the strongest stocks in the market right now, roaring well above its 200-day moving average. Its 200-day moving average is sitting at 180 right now, and it's trading at 271. It's already reached 280, so $100 above its VWAP, or above its 200-day moving average. Some might like that, some may not, but what I like to look at when we're that far extended is other moving averages like the 10, 20, and 30-day moving average. And as you can see, it's definitely following this 21 and 30-day moving average. It has not cracked the 30-day moving average as much as it has pulled back a little bit through that 21-day moving average. So if you use moving averages or if you don't, it's a-okay. I just use them as a guide to help understand where this overall stock is with the rest of the market. So NVIDIA looking very strong, having itself a much needed pullback from those highs of 280. Where it's going to create those new higher lows, we are definitely going to be here to find out. Next up, we have Uncle Tesla. So good old Uncle Tesla came out with earnings, and I don't know if you know, but my boy, let me see if I can say his name a little better. I know it's Zach, but I'm trying to say his Dempsey, my boy Dempsey, actually called out the fact that if we get a big sweaty short here, right, and then Mr. Musk comes out and he starts chitter-chattering, it's going to head lower. And sure enough, this thing did head lower. Now, how low does this thing actually want to go? That's a really good question. Thanks for asking. If we look at this thing, it's cracked its lows. So where its new lows are going to fit, I don't know exactly, but what I do know is that if we keep an eye on this thing and it wants to hold this gap up base, this might be a nice little area to take a long trade in. But when you have big discerning news, these big pullbacks, these big panics, you know, you can't just go buying willy-nilly. We need to have some type of risk management in this area, right? So in my personal opinion, if I'm looking at something and I see on the hourly, it looks something like this, I have a trend line to risk off of. I have an idea of where my tops are, so I have proper risk reward in this situation. But if we move on to this huge panic pullback, the way I play, I don't play these panics. I need to wait for some technical analysis to form to show me, hey, you know what's going on, you know where your risk is, you know where your reward is, and you know what you can expect from the stock. But right now in this area, I don't know what to expect from Tesla, but what I do know is it's going to put on a beautiful show for us in the near future. So if you guys keep an eye, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button, guys, because I'm here every Friday and I bring you a beautiful stock market watch list on Sundays. Not to mention, I sprinkle in some shorts in there for you to keep some entertainment and keep some fun. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, baby, because I'm here for you as much as I want you to be here for me. Next up is Apple. Now this morning I woke up, I took a little peeky gander at Apple, and it had a mega fail, a mega crack right here. And why do I call it mega? Well, because you don't see moves like 2.15 very often just in overnight market trading. So the average daily range for Apple is 1.5%. So if we're moving twice that amount into the downside, I call that a crack. So Apple did crack last night, and if you notice, the last time it's cracked, it's been finding some support on its cracks. So that is just, mean reversion traders there, right? So what do we want to see from this? Well, we need to see it holding, just like we talked about Tesla. We need to see Apple hold these areas, right? A big crack like this, if we crack again, that's just going to be furthered weakness, and people are going to be less likely to try and buy that dip. Now, if Apple wants to hold, this is a beautiful downward trend line here that it broke above. So for me personally, this 164.35, this where it sits right now, 164, we're going to say for a psychological and just a better discerning factor, Apple at 164, if it can hold this area, sprinkles, baby, I see it, B. Stewie. You know what? That gives me a reminder. Let me pour some coffee, guys, and we're going to continue with our analysis because, we're not just here for a good time, but we're not here for a long time, so we got to enjoy it. We got to make sure we keep our throat well soothed. We got to wet our whistle from time to time, ladies and gentlemen. So let me just go ahead and do that. And you know what? This one's for Stewie. This one ain't for me. This is for B. Stewie. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. And if you have something that you want to see me talk about in the market, because once I get through all this, we'll go through whatever the heck you guys want to. So let me know in the chat what you're watching, what you're playing, what you want me to commentate on, and we'll take a little peeky gander. We'll put it on our watch list so that way we make sure we go over it. So next up, well, actually, let me just finish up with Google or Apple. So if Apple wants to hold this 164 area, if it wants to hold it, this could be a beautiful trade to the north side because I love those retests. I do love those retests. Now, I'm a bear with bull horns, right? I'm a bear with bull horns, guys. When you have things pushing up like this, we can expect pullbacks. They're healthy, right? And this could just be a pullback. This crack could be a pullback, but we need to keep in mind that that always has the potential to pull back further. And with it being this far extended, we easily could pull back to 158. We could give back 10 points on Apple and still be in a healthy market. A lot of people don't like to hear that, but that's the truth, guys. That's the truth. These things can push, but they need healthy pullbacks. Apple's not going to go straight up, right? If it does go straight up, this is beautiful. If it does go straight up, eventually it does have that pullback, right? Now this thing is almost going straight up. We had a little coral here at the 200-day moving average, but it's pushing almost straight up. So don't expect this thing to just go straight to the north side. We need to expect pullbacks like this. Now, if these pullbacks don't want to hold and they want to keep heading lower, then my idea would be a bit different on this overall market. Next up, Google, G-O-O-G-L, baby. Now, Google, if you guys remember, I was a fanboy with Google back down here, and I love to bring it up because it was just fun. At the time, there wasn't much going on with Google. There wasn't much at all going on in the overall market. Nothing to root for. Everything looked like it was pulling back. But I said, hey, we found something we can root for, guys. And back here, back in 223, or actually I think it was right here, 314, that's right, March 14th, it pulled back into this area. I drew this level of liquidity up for you, and it just ripped right up out of there, and it kept on heading higher. Now, I didn't think it was going to do that. We just drew that out so we had something to root for, because at this time, the overall market looked so stinking bad. It looked very, very bad. So I found a stock that we could root for, and sure enough, Google was sitting inside of its support down here at $89, and it just ripped up from there. Now trading above a 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is not curling up to the north side yet, but it is above it, so that is a positive sign for Google for the long-term trend. Now, if we want to zoom in a little bit on this hourly, we can see we're just kind of trading right here in the middle at 105.57 for Google. We absolutely love Rabia. Rabia's here. You just made my day, Rabia. I was hoping you would stop in. Thank you so much for stopping in, Rabia. You know what? This one's for me, not for you, though. I'm going to take a sip of coffee. This one's for me, Rabia. I'll get you on the next one. But good morning, Rabia. It's good to see you. But yeah, guys, Google's just kind of sitting at 105.59 right here in the middle right now. Okay, so I don't like to diddle in the middle. I would say if it wants to pull back to 103, that might be a nice area for a long. But if it wants to pop back up to 106.50, that might be a head and shoulders worth taking a short on. So depending on how the overall market looks when we start to open in about 1 hour, then we will be able to see whether or not we want to take a look at these longs or the shorts. So we need a little bit more time, and we need to go over some more of these stocks. Now, before I start going over some of the other stocks, I do want to just take an honorable mention of Riot, and we need to take a look at Bitcoin. If we're going to look at Riot, we need to take a look at Bitcoin, obviously. So let's go ahead and bring up Bitcoin, excuse me, while this thing warms up. We're going to take a look at Bitcoin right now, right in front of your eyes, and you can see me do it. This is Bitcoin tethered with the USD, and right now, the way I see it is Bitcoin has pulled back into an area of support. Now, if you were worried about Bitcoin and you said, why is it failing? Well, I've pointed out to you guys when we ripped all the way up here that if we rip any higher, we have resistance right here in this $3,000 this 3,000 area, right? 30,000, excuse me, this 30,000 area. So don't be so surprised when we go to the north side and we find pockets of resistance at not only psychological, meaning 30,000, and technical areas. What's going to happen? We're going to see a pullback. Now, does that mean Bitcoin's going to fail? I don't know, but I do contest when I say it's pulled back into support. So if Bitcoin wants to hold this 28,174 area, that might be good for a long trade. Now, if it wants to crack this, I think the next area is 24. So keep that in mind, guys, that this is a key area. This might be a great area for a long, but if it cracks, you might want to wait for a pop to take a short. Okay, so this area is pretty key. We want to keep an eye on Bitcoin in this area. Absolutely beautiful, though, guys. Absolutely beautiful for Bitcoin still holding up in those areas. So back to Riot. As you guys know, we started playing this back here at $7. Now, yeah, of course, I wish I was still holding that. Those shares that I had back down here, I think, would we have 50 to 100 shares? You know, we'd be up a heck of a lot more money than we are now. But guys, as you know, I like to take profit. I have a hard time holding on for the longer term. But at the same time, guys, I'm happy with the money that we've made. So if you're green, baby. But you can't look too far into the future. We cannot be hindsight Henrys during a live show. So it is what it is. So let's go ahead and look at First Solar, FSLR. Now, as we know, First Solar has been a leader in the solar sector. And First Solar, I did have this as an earnings gap up. I think we played it. We made a little bit of money on it. But actually, no, I did not play this. We did not play this earnings gap up, but we marked it out. I'll have to actually look back to be absolutely sure on that one. But guys, right here, you can see right here at this top, 217, this thing broke out above. And I actually played this a bit embarrassing because I added a little too soon into First Solar and it cracked down further. It stopped me out back here at 213 area. But I still really do like First Solar, and I'm still going to try and play this breakout the next time it comes up here. So what I'm going to do is go ahead and set my alert on this area. And what we like to do here is take small losses and have big winners. That's why I always use risk reward and I always use risk management, guys. So that being said, I was using this base here at 215 to be sure that it was going to hold this breakthrough, because I know that it just doesn't happen overnight. And most of the best stocks they will break out, they will break through, and they will head higher on volume and never look back. But depending on how the market is and depending on how things are actually running, sometimes it doesn't happen. So I will take multiple small losses looking for this breakout entry, and I use this in multiple different ways. Okay, I'll find patterns, I'll watch the volume, I'll watch the price action, and I'll identify what is the leader and where the institutional ownership is going. First Solar is a leader. It does have institutional ownership, and on a technical basis, it is definitely looking very, very tasty. So I'm going to keep an eye on First Solar even today, guys, because this pullback, we want to see the new higher low being formed, so that way we can go back up there and retest that 220. Now that is some good nerve center coffee, baby. That is some good old nerve center coffee. So let's go ahead and we'll go through my watch list. This is going to be a doozy, guys. This will give you an idea of what you want to see, what you don't want to see, and then we'll go back over everything we did this morning to see how the overall markets are shaping up. But the one thing I need to look at before I forget, because you guys know I love playing those earnings, I have today's earnings. They're all up right here for you. We don't have a lot of craziness going on, but Our highest is AMTD. It's only up 5%. So nothing too crazy going on. The only other thing is this Sunlight, SUNL. It looks like it had a nice little push up to 71 cents and now is failing. It's already back down to 40 cents. So that's about the only honorable mention in the earnings list. Now, if you guys have something that I haven't seen, let me know in the chat. I'll be happy to take a look at it. But as of right now, not much going on in earnings. But next week, we got a big day. We got a big week, okay? So keep that in mind. We can go over my trades really quick. For solar, I'm out of. Here's RETA. I'm still holding about 25 shares of RETA. We're up about $100 on this trade. Nothing, not that big of a deal. But as you guys can see, my technical analysis on this, and you can see where I got in this trade. This thing has tested this top at 95 multiple times. One test, two tests, it broke through and came back down. Broke through again, and I said, well, hey, look, if we're creating new higher lows and we're creating a nice trend line to the north side, I'm going to take a small amount of shares. So I just took 25 shares, obviously wishing I took a few more, but this trade is doing really well. We're up about $100. Now, this is a swing trade, guys. This is a swing trade. So I've said it, I forgot about it, and now that it's up to 1, 2, 3 days, normally I would take about half of my profits off of this. I'm going to just bring my stop loss up to break even here. So that way, if this thing does want to fail, it does want to pull back, I'm not going to lose any money on the trade, okay? It's going to pull back and it's going to get me out where I got in. I don't want to be in this stock if it wants to continue to pull back where I bought it. I would want to get it for a better price right down here around 94. So if it stops me out, I will be keeping a nice eye on this thing to see what it wants to do. Now, IoT, if we take a look at IoT, one of my biggest things that I've done wrong with IoT is I've added into this trade a little too early. Now, this is another growth stock that I've been looking at. It's a recent IPO. When I say recent, I'm talking about 2021. So actually, the beginning of 2022. It was 12/15/2021. We're going to say 2022. So it has only been open for about a year and a half right now, guys. And that being said, I like IPOs because they can be very, very big winners. IoT came up on my scanner above a 200 curling day moving average and then had a breakout on this cup and ripped higher. So what did I do? Well, I bought on this breakout. Honestly, this was a bit of, well, not a bit. This was a chase. This was definitely a chase, and I'm not going to deny that. We had a bit of a chase here because it broke out, and I didn't see my alerts. You know, when I'm working Monday through Thursday right now, 10 hours a day, and I don't have much time to keep an eye on the market. So what I do is I set my alerts. When my alerts come up, I can then identify the price action and see if it's worth getting into. Now, no excuses here. I knew I was extended and that it was running into this resistance area, and that's why I took a small share size. I took a very small share size. I only took 100 shares, and then I was just going to hold on to this thing to see if it wants to hold this base here of $20. Now, it did. It ripped higher in my favor, and then when it pulled back, I added 25 more. Here's where I went wrong. As this thing pushed up higher and it broke this area, I decided to add another 100 shares into a winning stock. That really messed up the trade for me. It really did, because now it's brought my average all the way up to 21.69. So now we're sitting right here for this. Now, some of you might say, well, that's a great ad. That's a great area to be in, especially because it's this top. Well, here's the thing. Now I'm sitting in this stock with 225 shares, meaning if this thing wants to crack and break down, I'm losing quite a bit of money way too fast. Okay, now that might not be a lot to you. It's not that much to me, but it all adds up. So if I want to take a good trade, I need to make sure I'm comfortable in this trade. Right now, I'm not that comfortable in the trade. Sure, I'm up $46, but this thing might gap down with the overall market. Okay, or because I'm in this trade, if the market does want to pull back, some of these stocks like to hold their weight. They're like a balloon. You're trying to push the balloon underwater, right? And it wants to push up. It just keeps wanting to push up. So if the overall market can take my back on this one, have the breath behind me and wants to continue higher, then I won't stop out too soon. But because I've added in too early and because I have too many shares, I have the ability to stop out too soon on this trade because I don't want to take a big loss. I like small losses, I like big wins, and that's what we're looking at in this area. Now, one honorable mention that I need to bring up is VKTX. Why am I bringing up this silly stock? Well, simply put, since this was brought to my attention, I noticed way back here on the weekly. Now, some people don't like to, actually, once Harbor is in here, my boy Brad Trades, once he's in here, I have a very good question for him because he likes to look at these things, just a little bit more knowledgeable about these. Now, I marked this out because this was the highest traded price area, this $20 area was the highest traded price area. And I tried to take a short here, obviously got stopped out of the short, but when it came back and it retested that $20 area, I was not in front of my computer, not in front of my charts, I was not looking at VKTX. It bounced off this 20 and ripped to the north side. Absolutely beautiful. $1.70, $1.80 win right there for any of you who actually caught that $20 bounce. Now, it's back down here on this $20. Will this $20 hold? That's going to be very, very interesting for VKTX. Now, I'm not in this trade, but I do want to keep an eye on it because if it cannot make new higher highs and it wants to crack around this 21, between $20 and $21 area, I might want to get a tasty little short on this simply because I know that this is very well extended and it's running into a key level of resistance. This might be the blow off volume that I was looking for right here. And if it is, then we might see continued sell off. And I would love to hold this thing onto it all the way back down to this $8 area. Now that might be asking for a lot, but that's what I am looking for. So this would be a beautiful short trade to the south side if I can manage the trade properly. All right. So make sure we're caught up on chat. Yep, everybody listen up, guys. If you love it as much as I love it, and we're talking about stocks, take a look at my screen, guys. Oh, that's me. Make sure you click this live button. If you are not live, you might be a little behind, and we're starting this thing off right now. It's 8:40, guys, and we're going to be doing this here really, really soon. We have less than an hour until market open, so make sure if you are looking at something or if you want me to take a look at something that you know what it is, you put it in chat so we can get right on it, baby. So we also have this poll here, guys. If you scroll down, we have a poll here. Does the market end bullish or bearish? Okay, so make sure you click your vote there. And then if you scroll down, we have this thumbs up button. You know I love the thumbs up button. I show you all the time. I love to click it, but make sure when you click it, it stays lit. Litty, baby. And if you bringing any value to your life, if I'm bringing any whatsoever, whether it's entertainment, whether it's knowledge, whether it's disgust, either way, smash that subscribe button, guys, because I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me. Guys, I love doing this. This is my passion and eventually will be my full-time job. I can absolutely promise you that. It just takes a lot of time, and I'm here to tell you trading is hard. But doing live commentary and live analysis, that's easy for me, baby. That's my passion, and that's what I love to do. So you can watch me learn as a trader, and you can watch us grow as a show, baby. So make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let me know what you're watching in the chat so that way I can take a little peeky gander at it for you. All right? So, what do we got going on with my overall hot swings? Well, let's take a little peeky gander, shall we? We're going to get right into this. Let me go ahead and bring my desk down because I like doing chart analysis while I'm seated. So come on down here with me, ladies and gentlemen, and we will take a little peeky gander. Now, we have MELI. This thing has been rip-roaring for quite some time. Above a 200-day moving average. Let's go ahead and put this on the daily so it don't look so silly. And this thing is making new highs, trading at 1,293.77. Mealy, I'm not even going to try and say that. Mercado Libre. This stock is looking very, very nice. I like to have this on my chart just because of the overall incentive on this. So we're going to keep an eye on that. Now let's look at cost. So cost, this is absolutely beautiful. This is a big trade idea for me for your long-term accounts because cost only moves 1.6% in a day. Now you can see we obviously have this downtrend line right here. But what I think is cool is this thing has the ability to break out. Now, I'm not saying this time's different and that it will break out from here, but what I will say is if it wants to hold this 500 to 504 area, this might be a nice little long for the long-term account. This thing is constantly on an uptrend. It's held a lot of its gains. It is very Interesting the swings that are in this, but because it keeps always holding new higher lows, to me, I would love to see a breakout in COST. And if it does want to break out, I do want to be a part of it. Now, I can't allocate my full account to this as much as I would love to, but because it only moves 1.6%, I'm looking for a better place to put my money. Now, this moves about 2.9%. It's a little quicker, but nothing too crazy. What I do like about HUBS HubSpot is that it keeps pushing, it keeps holding new higher lows, and it's creating this really tight pennant up here on this north side. Now trading at 417.07, hub in this area is looking really, really good. So I'm going to go ahead and put a little alert here for us in case hub wants to break out to the north side. We at least have a little something to take a look at. So let's look at Lulu. Now, I got some boys out here that are in the wolf trading that love to take a look at Lulu. And what I like about Lulu is the fact that it's squatting down right here on this 10-day moving average. Now, I've already missed this trade, unfortunately. And if it wants to wait for us and get a little bit tighter because it's running into these resistance areas, and if it wants to keep getting tight, that might be a beautiful trade to the north side if it wants to. This is right out of Christian Quilamagi's episodic pivots. The only thing is it hasn't broken up above any key areas. We don't have blue skies here, guys. So even though we caught the market by surprise with Lulu's spandex growing pants, right? Even though it caught the market by surprise, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if it caught the market by surprise because we ran right into resistance. So can we get above this resistance? If it can, I think Lulu can also have a nice breakout trade to the north side. But if we find resistance and we want to pull back, be careful of it curling over. I'm going to lose conviction if it doesn't hold this 10-day moving average, and I'm going to be hands off the trade. So next up, we have WDAY Wednesday. Now, I've liked Wednesday. I've tried to play Wednesday, but to no avail. We ended up break even on this trade. It broke out here. We ended up getting in this trade on a range break. It took off a little higher. I don't remember after the third day if we took half out or not, but it pulled right on back and then broke through these highs. So we're going to keep an eye on WDAY. It is a nice trade here on, I wouldn't say nice trade, but it is a nice stock to keep an eye on because of the actual push, and it's holding its gains here. This curling 200-day moving average is a beautiful thing to see as well. Wing. Now, I've tried Wing Spot. I don't like Wing Spot. I don't care if you do or you don't. This stock is beautiful on its price action. I do absolutely love the price action on this one, and it keeps wanting to push into these highs at 193.74. This thing might actually take off if it wants to break to the north side. Now, I do have an alert set here for us in case something wants to pop up or pop off. We will be here for it, baby. Next up, AXON Enterprise. Wow, what a beautiful move this thing. It is at highs. 229 was the highs. It's trading at 224.47, following a 10-day moving average and not cracking, well, maybe once, but not cracking below a 30-day moving average. On top of that, we have a beautiful curling, pushing higher 200-day moving average. I do love seeing this thing sit right here at the peak. Wow, and squatting on the 10-day moving average. This thing moves 2.3%, so it's not a crazy big mover, but I do really like where it's sitting right now. It's squatting right down on that 10-day moving average, creating a really tight range. We're going to see what this wants to do. So I'm going to go ahead and create an alert for the peak of this for a breakout trade for the near future. DUOL is also a nice gainer here, guys. Now it looks like it cracked a little bit. It found some support on that 30-day moving average. I think this thing needs a little bit more time personally. SMCI looking pretty good here. Now, if you guys remember, I did like this trade here. I did end up taking this trade. We ended up getting out of it fairly quickly because it came right up into resistance, and we ended up getting out. That was here on this day. We ended up taking this right here here, actually. This is the trade. It was squatting down on the 10-day moving average, so I wanted to play that squat, and then boom, it popped right up into this area of resistance, so we got out half of our shares and we took the rest out at break even. So we made a little bit of money on that trade, but nothing too crazy. What we wanted to see was, after it broke out, a retest. Now, it did retest a few times, but we're not in the trade. We can't catch them all, guys. Sometimes, you know, it does suck. You want to be in everything and all at once, but you need to pick your battles. Next up is Airbnb. Good old Airbnb. I don't believe in Airbnb. I think it's going to eventually fail. And personally, if I think that this area right here might be a nice little short, but it looks like I missed my chance. At 121.01, that would have been a very beautiful trade. Wow, look at that technical analysis I drew out here for you, so you have a better idea of where things sit, where things are just where things might be pivoting. And sure enough, this game literally came right up and touched it and just failed quickly. So absolutely beautiful there for Airbnb, but it doesn't look like, also right here, quick fail right there. You know, a part of me thinks, you know, any pop here, any pop I want to get short, any pop I want to get short, but now we're almost back into this resistance at 115, so we're going to see how that plays out, or I'm going to be playing in the middle, so we're going to keep an eye on that. LNTH, now this thing has just been rip-roaring to the north side constantly, guys. Absolutely love to see LNTH rip-roaring to the north side. We want to see that happening, but not if you're not in it, right? So we got this huge cup. We don't have a handle here just yet, so maybe a nice little pullback, catching a 10 or 21-day moving average and trading sideways before it wants to rip higher. That might be a beautiful thing for LNTH, now trading at 91.62, or I'm sorry, 89.61. 91.62 was its high. So looks absolutely beautiful. Let me take a little sip here. Oh, we do need to take a look at WWE. You better believe that, brother. So WWE, if you smell what the Rock. Wow. So if you guys don't know the news on the UFC or on WWE, the UFC decided to buy him out, or there was rumors of it, yada, yada, yada. You know, the wrestling with uncertainty. Will WWE stock price body slam its way back to $100? Wow, I like that. Listen to this news. This news article makes you want to click, right? Yesterday on 420, wrestling with uncertainty. Will WWE stock price body slam its way back to $100? I really like that. That was a beautiful title for them to put on here. So I do I do like that. So if we look at WWE, guys, and goodness gracious, you know, if I didn't have any real rules for trading, you know, this would have been an absolute beautiful trade. You know, I just couldn't get behind it. But way back here, I remember B. Stewie was saying, hey, take a look at WWE. I like it. I like the news. I like this. I like that. And I was like, you know, it's cool. It's great. You know, blah, blah, blah. Well, I wish I would have just said, yeah, me too. 100 shares. You know, let's go, baby. But obviously, trading's not like that, guys. You have to have the rules and the mindset and all that stuff. And you have to have risk reward. If not, you're going to blow up every account that you have. But when we look at WWE here, we have this huge catalyst. What is that huge catalyst? Well, the news that they're going to get bought up by the UFC. Then we pull back and create this top, and this thing is ripping to the north side. Now, just an excerpt from Christian Quilamagi, he would say, you know, some of the best stocks are the stocks that keep going higher. And that's also a few other books that I've read as well, but the most recent was Chris Quilamagi. You know, when he buys in these things, he's waiting. He's not buying weakness. You know, he has different strategies for that, but he's buying these breakouts. You know, when you have these downtrends and they break out in this area on volume, that's where he's buying these things. And if you don't get in it, then you have to wait for the right time. When's the right time to get into the stock? Well, that is a great question. Thank you for asking. This thing needs to trade sideways. If we're just going to buy at its top, you can expect it to pull back on you at any time. But if we wait for that pullback and then we wait to see where it's going to pull back to, where we're going to find a healthy pullback, that is where we might want to find a tasty little trade, because then we will be able to discern what is risk and what is our reward. So I love WWE. I love the fact that it is just being a leader right now in entertainment. It's got absolute institutional ownership buying this up. You can see it in the volume here. Big guys or little guys like you and I are not going to make volume price like this, okay? Now we have a little over a half an hour before market open, guys, so welcome. If you haven't, if you don't know, now you know. This is Dave. I'm with LoFiTrader. If you love what I'm doing, I want you to be here for me just as much as I want to be here for you. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, guys, because I absolutely have a passion for the stock market. You're not going to find this kind of commentary, this kind of analysis, these kind of data drops anywhere else on YouTube. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, baby, because I want to be here for you. So let's keep on keeping on, guys. What do I want to look at? Well, we're going to look at the gap up scanner. I don't have too much going on for that. But if we look at AI, BFRG has been rip-roaring to the north side. Now, when I bring up these, you need to keep in mind that these stocks are very low float, very volatile stocks. They can rip your face off at any given moment. So make sure when you're looking at these guys, you know what you're messing with. Okay, this is a low float stock. It is holding new higher lows and it's pushing up right now at $8.74. Now, if we look at BFRG or BBAI or any of these stocks that look crazy, I still want to point out that AI is still the leader. Now, it might not look as crazy, it might not look as volatile, but this is what started everything off. So it's not looking much like a leader right now. But if it can hold this area of $20, this $20 is a multi-month low. Also pointed out yesterday in our chat by Heiser. Much appreciated, Heiser. Thank you very much. This thing holding these lows at $20 can be very, very interesting here, guys. If this thing wants to hold these lows and have another rip higher, there's nothing holding it back except for this area at 33, okay? $33, $34 area. That is our area of resistance. None of this is resistance anymore. It's all been neutralized. And if you go back and look at a previous video, I give you the technical analysis on AI so you know exactly where that those levels sit. So if you're looking for a high quality risk reward show for the day, this might be an area for a buy. Now, you need to understand what your risk and what your reward is. So if this thing wants to crack this area and head lower, why would you want to be in this stock still, right? So if I just go ahead and bring it to the lows and I say, hey, you know, if I wanted in this stock, we're risking $1 or 95 cents, right? Could we risk that? We absolutely could risk that. What are you willing to risk? That's the question for you to decide. Now, I'm going to wait a little bit longer till market open before I start taking or placing any bets. I like to wait a little after market open. But when I see something like this and I see high quality risk to reward in these situations, they really make me ask myself, do I want to be in this trade? So I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on that. Let's catch up on chat. Rabia says, I've been waiting for this Tesla pullback for so long. Yeah, let's go over Tesla again, because this Tesla pullback is very, very beautiful. It is creating new lows since 313. So these new lows, I know a lot of you Teslonians are going to be keeping an eye on this area. These pullbacks can be tried and true, but just keep in mind it is under a 200-day moving average. So my overall outlook on Tesla is going to be obviously to the downside for these reasons. It's below a 200-day moving average. The 200-day moving average is pointing to the downside, and you can see that on earnings we have an issue with that, right? So they beat their earnings, but their earnings obviously are pulling back. They're not making nearly as much as they were, which, as we should understand with the overall market, with the overall inflation, with the overall rate hikes constantly going up, we're going to see a lot of these bigger manufacturers pulling back, right? And if you're not seeing that, those stocks need to go on your watch list, because those are going to be your leaders when the actual market starts to turn around. And yes, Muley, I'll go back to AI in 1 second. So let's see. Rabia says, I'm hoping for 145, but I don't know if it will get there. Oh, I see. So you're expecting more of a pullback. And I can totally understand that. I can totally understand that. That would be beautiful if Tesla could pull back to your price area at 145. And I can see why you would want that. That was its last earnings. It would be filling this gap and then starting over fresh. So I like that, Rabia. I like that idea, and I'm definitely going to keep an eye on that. I'm going to mark this right here, Rabia, just so I can remember what you said, because I do really like that trade idea. And you know what, Rabia, let's put it this way, because if we zoom out on the daily, we can see that is a huge area. Look at this, guys. This is what Rabia is talking about. That's why she likes this 145. Look at that. this 145 area is a nice area way back here that caused a huge rally in the overall Tesla stock. So yes, Rabia, goodness, thank you so much for pointing that out to me. I have this marked. If Tesla wants to get down to this area, for goodness gracious, I do hope that it does. We're going to create this alert at or below, and I can promise you this, Rabia, if I am in front of this market or we get anywhere down to this area, yes, I'm going to definitely be buying that up with you, and we will have a pretty little time playing this tasty Tesla trade. So can you please talk about AI? You're darn tootin', Mealy. Why would I deny you anything? So let's go ahead and look at AI. Now, guys, I have already done a beautiful stock analysis, and I say that because I put a lot of time and effort into my AI YouTube video. So I'm gonna post that in here so you guys have something that you can reference back to when it comes to the actual AI technical analysis on this, guys, because I really like the technical analysis for this AI. So I'm gonna go ahead and post this in the chat. You guys can go ahead and click on it. You can watch it later or open it up in a new video so you don't lose your spot in the live trade. But right here is my technical analysis on AI. Now that was in the past. It's in the chat if you guys are interested. In the past, we talked about the technical analysis here so we could play the trade here, and we did, guys. Or I'm sorry, we played the trade here, and we did, guys. We also played the breakout here, and we had a good time. We took a little bit of money. Oh, actually, we didn't take any. We stopped out for break even on this, okay? That's embarrassing to say, but I'm going to let you know because you're a loser unless you're learning, right, guys? You're always a loser unless you're learning. So I learned a little something from this. Heiser laughed at me. I remember that. That was hilarious. And it was just a beautiful thing. He goes, well, you need to take out some profit. And I should have, right, guys? I should have taken out some profit, especially because if I look all the way back here, we can see our highest traded volume back here on 12/15/2021. We're talking way back then. We had a pocket of resistance at 35 that sold into this and created a panic. So now this $20 area is going to be absolutely beautiful if it wants to hold and head on higher, because we only have resistance where? Well, if this neutralized the 35, then there's no resistance above us unless we look way back here, maybe around 60. Let's say 50. The $50 area would be our next area of huge resistance. So we're gonna mark this area out. We'll just do 47 so we know right where that's at, where that area is going to start to begin, okay? So we know that 50 is going to be the starting area. So can we make that? Can we make that jump in AI to make it all the way back up there? That would be absolutely beautiful. But what I like, regardless of where your reward is going to be sitting, I've been watching AI long enough now where if it wants to crack 20, I think we're going to head lower. But if it wants to keep heading higher, this is a beautiful spot for risk reward, right? So I might take a nice tasty little trade on this. I want to see what it gives us in the market open around 9:30. I want to see what this thing looks like. If it wants to break down a little bit on us, maybe I start adding in a few shares on the way down to 20. And maybe we can pile on a few shares to the long side. We're going to see how the overall market wants to treat us so we can treat the market with respect. So let's go ahead and take a look at the chat. Do you have a full-time job or do you just trade for profit? So that is a great question, Driver. Let me answer that with a few things. To answer I do have a full-time job. I do have a full-time job. Now I go back and forth to the full-time job. I'm blessed enough where I have a job where I can go to, I can work, and when I'm done working, I can leave and I can come back whenever, okay? So what I like to do is I like to go out, I like to work, I like to gain a ton of profits. I bank that money. My wife and I, we have created a very beautiful budgeting system to where I know exactly how much I need. I go, I make that money, and then I come back and I do YouTube and I do trading full time. And I'll probably, when I come back in October, I'll be here for about a year. And I'm constantly going to be working on my trading and this YouTube and growing as a community. So if you can get behind that, make sure you hit that like and subscribe, guys, because I am not going anywhere. So for now, we'll be doing live on Fridays and we'll be doing the stock market watch list on Sundays. So if you can get behind that, I want to be here for you. I want you to be here for me. So hit that like, hit that subscribe. But yeah, I would always recommend anybody that wants to do trading full time to always have a side gig. It is so pressuring to be able to sit in front of your trading screen thinking, I have to make money today. I have bills to pay. That's not the way you want to trade, guys. You want to trade like you're retired. You want to trade like you don't need the money. And you want to trade as if the market in front of you is exactly where you can earn some of that money. It's supposed to be, you can trade full time, don't get me wrong. But you always want to have that side thing, that thing that's going to pay the bills, or that thing that's going to make you money, or that thing that is going to put into your retirement accounts without having to worry about it. Not to mention health insurance. That's a big one, guys. So make sure when you go to trade full time, you know where you're going to be paying your health insurance, because that's a big one. So you're absolutely welcome, driver. What are you watching today, driver? I'm very interested to see. We got AI on our list today, and obviously we have quite a few of our tech stocks on our list today, not to mention the trades I'm already in. So if we want to go over the trades I'm already in, we can do that. Of course, we're not in First Solar anymore, and we are not in VKTX, but I do want to keep VKTX on there because I think that's going to be a beautiful trade in the future. So IoT trading at 2205. If you guys remember, I moved my I've added into this trade. We're only up $46 on this trade. I was up a lot more on this trade, obviously, here, but I added into it, so I gave back quite a bit of my profits. I was actually in somewhere down here around this $20 area, I'd say around $20.50 area. We played the breakout of this. We ran into a little bit of chasing, just a little bit. It ended up working out into our favor, but I added in a little too early. So that's A-okay. Sometimes you're going to do that, but we're up in some profits on IoT. So what do I expect this thing to do? I expect this thing to rip roar to the north side and head absolutely higher. That being said, I am going to move my stop loss up though, because I definitely don't want to take a huge break. We have over 225 shares in this growth stock. So these are my trades. These aren't your trades, guys. So make sure if you are taking your trades, you know your risk reward, you know your trade, and you know the stock that you're playing. Let's take a look at another stock that I'm in, RETA. Now we're up about $100 on RETA. I loved this wedge that it was forming, and when it broke out, I didn't get too excited. I wanted to wait on this stock for another retest. And when we did retest one more time, we did 1, 2, broke through, came back down, hold new higher lows, and then broke through. That is when I decided to get in right in this area, on this area of volume. Now, we held on to this just small, 25 shares. We've brought the stop loss up to break even now, and I would love to see RETA, the pharmaceuticals, to continue higher. Now, as you guys know, the pharmaceuticals, all that is a great, I say all that, like you guys know what I'm talking about. Let me displace what is going on in my static brain. The healthcare sector has been on a bull run recently. So RETA, if it wants to continue with that bull run, I'd love to see this 4.6% average daily range rip to the north side. I want to see more movement. I want to see this thing carry on higher before I start extrapolating some of that money. So VKTX, just to go back over it, if we look, there is a huge area of resistance at $20. We broke above that resistance of $20, came back, retested, ripped higher to $21.79, and now is back down, retesting that $20 area. So this might be a trade for the long side. I personally would love to see this thing get shorted, so I'm waiting for this thing to get up around this $20 to $21 area before I start looking to take a short. So at or above this area, I'm definitely going to be keeping an eye on VKTX. Let's catch up on chat. I'm looking for an EV charge station company. Very nice, driver. I'm also trying to look deep into the future on who will lead the charge on quantum computing. Very smart. I think whoever wins that race will produce gains like Amazon or Apple kind of thing if we can find it. Well, might explode here. I bought some of that. You bought some of AI or VKTX? Talk to me. Which one did you buy? And also, I want to just go over what you said. Quantum computing is something that's kind of out of my realm. I don't know exactly. I know that it's computing on a lower, a very, very tight range where it's not just ones and zeros. It can do a 1 and 0, which might not sound very, very cool to the average person, right? What's 1 0 1 0 1? Well, that's how computers talk. They have to talk in ones and zeros. But imagine if a computer could talk in ones and zeros, adding a third part to the party. That will make things move a lot faster in quantum computing. It make things so fast, it's going to be like the speed of light, right? What's the closest thing we have to the speed of light other than my typing? It's going to be the internet. The internet moves about as fast as it. You can look it up, but you know, in order to understand some of that, you got to be pretty fancy, right? I bought a company called WELL. It's a health tech company. Well, let's take a look at WELL, and if you don't mind, I'm going to give my stock analysis on it. Hey, look at that. That's absolutely cool. Well, first of all, it's above a 200-day moving average. Now, it's not a curling 200-day moving average, but it is above a 200-day moving average. But you do need to keep an eye. Next month, on the 2nd, we have earnings that are coming out. So please keep that in mind. If you're taking this and you're going to run with it, I always like to have at least a little bit of room before earnings come out. Because if we don't have that room before earnings comes out, then we might get suffer and suck attached to the south side. So we definitely want to keep that in mind, guys. So WELL, yes, does look nice in these areas, creating new higher lows on the daily. Let's take a look at the hourly and zoom out here. Also, the hourly is creating new higher lows off this bottom of 65.13. So that's looking really good. It also moves 2.1%. So it's not a very fast mover, but it's definitely something that we could keep an eye on for future gains. So I like that. It's looking nice. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market now, guys. And we're going to keep AI up on this right-hand side just because I do really like these lows here. I like where it's sitting. And if the overall market wants to give us a little something to the north side, I think AI might be able to do that too. And just so I can continue to keep an eye on it, I think what I'm going to do here is I'm going to put this on my trades list, guys. And I'm going to start a little baby starter here. We're going to go ahead and start a little baby starter with 25 shares on this, okay? And we're just going to hang on to this thing and see what happens before I add in any real money, okay? So just starting a starter share right here in this area. We're going to make sure we switch this to extended, and we're going to add into the bid. But before I do that, I always like to look up here. It might be hard to see on your screen, but there is a bid and ask price right up here. I always want to make sure we're within 3 to 5 cents of the bid and ask price. That's showing me that it's liquid, that it's not going to just give me a crap price. So if I want to join the bid, I can join at $20.98, and actually it looks like it's now $20.99 and 21. So that means there is only a 1 to 2 cent risk or a 1 to 2 cent range on this. So it's getting nice and tight. So I'm going to go ahead and join the bid at we're going to buy we're going to go ahead and try and get a few shares into this before it starts taking off on me. And of course, now that it knows that I want in, it's probably going to take off without me, but that's okay. It's part of it. Let's see. I bought a put. Okay, very, very cool. I like it. How F? So F is in Ford. Oh, by the way, guys, SPY is pumping up here a little bit, 412.17. That's a beautiful thing, bouncing off this 410. That could be a good sign, but if this thing wants to rip up and catch an area at 414, I think 414, actually, I really think 413 might be an area for a short. Because if you look at this top here, this 1 hour top, it's looking like a head and shoulders. Here's a shoulder, here's a head, here's a shoulder. A lot of people, when they look at these head and shoulders, I've noticed there's not a ton of people really seeing head and shoulders for what they are. Now you can see them across multiple time frames, but this is a head and shoulders on my hourly. That tells me that it cannot get above its price. That means that's showing some form of weakness. Now, we have 410 as a level of support, but we also have these 415 areas that are acting as resistance. So this thing might bounce around here for a little bit, but we're gonna see what it wants to do because I can't play in the middle here. There's no way I can play the stock at 412. We need to either play it at 415 or play it closer to 410 area, right? So we're gonna keep an eye on that. Yeah, baby. So let's go ahead and take a look at a few that are in the trading. F. Let's take a look at F. That is hilarious. Damsey just said that today is National Drug Test Day because yesterday was 420. today is National Drug Test Day. Isn't that a beautiful thing? So after 420, they like to go ahead and give a drug test to all of you lovers of the marijuana. So please be careful if you're working out there. And happy birthday, Damsey. Happy birthday, brother. If I knew you were in here, I would definitely be singing to you. So Ford, guys, if we look at Ford, we have the same head and shoulders pattern. This is absolutely beautiful to see when you were talking technical analysis, okay? So we have these areas of resistance. It comes up, it creates an area of resistance. It comes up, it creates a new area, or it runs into these areas of resistance at 13, breaks back down, finding a double bottom, and comes back up, making a head and shoulders, and then selling off hard after that. So if we want to look at the overall picture on this, this looks like it's creating either I would call this a distribution. Now, I don't like to see Ford trading at 11 saying it's going to go lower, but under a 200-day moving average and constantly creating new higher lows with a base like this could either be seen as two things. Now, because it's on a downtrend, to me, this looks like a distribution. This thing might bounce in this $13 to $10 range for a few more weeks before breaking lower, in my opinion. Now, if this thing wants to get above a 200-day moving average and show proof of concept, it might be able to head higher. So, we need to keep an eye on Ford. Definitely keep an eye on Ford. At these lows, we might see northbound at these highs. But right now, it's diddling in the middle, and we don't want to mess with Ford when it diddles in the middle. So next up, we're going to take a look at ASUR. Now, if I remember, ASUR is a software stock. Now, I feel like you're having me look at this, B. Stewie, just to bring up my emotions. Guys, if you remember, during the live stream, we actually seen this beautiful gap up in ASUR, but I did not take it because the overall market was looking crappy at the time. Well, what happens when you don't play your trades? Well, they work out just great. So what happened here? Well, this is an earnings gap up. This is an hourly earnings gap up range break. If you played the earnings gap up, this would have been your buy-in. This would have been your risk reward. Now, buying in on this as it broke up, it headed higher. The software industry right now is very, very hot, as well as the health market. So these softwares are looking really, really good right now. Now, we're seeing a lot of chop up here at the top. I don't like to see chop in any growth names. This is a growth name, but this thing is starting to really, really chop around. If we go ahead and pull a trend line off of these bases right here, the one that really sticks out to me is this one right here, okay? We have this trend line that every time it comes down and touches this trend line, it gets soaked up pretty hard. So if you were looking at taking a trade on this, this breakout looks absolutely scrumptious, but with breakouts comes a lot of risk, right? Breakouts always can hit the top. That's where people are taking their profits, and it can sell back out. So I wouldn't just expect to play this breakout and go all in. I would expect to play this breakout, either wait for a pullback and a retest, or it breaks out, it comes back down, it breaks out again, comes back down, and forms a really, really tight range in the $17 area before it wants to scream to the north side. So I absolutely love ASUR. Why this isn't higher on my list, I don't know. So I'm going to move this all the way back up to the top here. If I can, let's try it one more time. We'll move this all the way back up top here, so next time I bring it back up, it can be a part of the quick looks, right? So here we go. It's not doing it, so we're going to go ASUR. It's not going to let me type it in because of that. Whatever. We're going to leave it. That's probably because I have it on mark change. There we go. That's why. All right, there we go. So anyway, guys, Melee looking good. Let's go ahead. Let's look at overall markets now. I think it's time, baby. It's time, baby. So let's go over the overall markets, and we're going to look at my trades, and we'll catch up on the chat. So if you guys have something you want me to take a look at, you need to let me know. I can't read your mind. I mean, I do have a crystal ball here, guys. I mean, I probably can't read your mind, but if you have a stock, you know, that you want to, that you really want to see, I can, you know, do my magic. I got this beautiful. Now, it is bullish. This crystal ball here, it is bullish. So watch out. You know, we don't want to do any kind of voodoo magic on it where it's going to just start busting down, you know, to the south side, because the bulls, they have their horns chalked today, baby. But yeah, baby. So let's go ahead and look at the overall market. So the SPY right now trading at 412.15. We have the SPY looking like it's going to be running into resistance in that 413 to 415 area. So keep that in mind, guys. If we start seeing weakness in the overall market, we know that the shorts are going to be to play. The IWM looks like it is also showing this downtrend. It's looking like what I consider a big drip. And when I say big drip, we get these big pushes up to the north side and fails. Big pushes, fails. And then we start seeing each push show less push, right? Each bounce off of its support is showing less push to the north side, okay? And when we see that, I call them big drips. It looks like there's a big drip and it's starting to hang over here. And if it starts to hang over, we can see a big flush. Now keep in mind, if it wants to hold this 177, this is a key area for IWM. If it wants to hold here and break out higher, we might see a beautiful bull run out of IWM in this area. So keep that in mind, guys. But right now, we're just kind of playing in the middle like we're seeing a lot of other stocks, where the top being 180 and your base being around 175 or 176. Okay, so keep that in mind for the IWM. The overall market, the overall for the daily on IWM, though, is holding a 10-day moving average, trying to push up just underneath that 200-day moving average. So that might look John Hammer, good morning. Good to see you, brother. Thanks for stopping in. Thanks for saying hello. Let me know what you were watching. Do you have any, John, do you have any gap up scan, anything on your gap up scanner today that you're keeping an eye on, or any stocks that were in your gap up scanner that you're keeping an eye on? Let me know, brother, because I would love to keep an eye on them with you. One thing I do want to look up is AM. Yeah, you know, I've been watching AM. I couldn't find a good entry on this thing, but at a 5.5 million float, this thing can really move, guys. It moves 9.8%. So be careful with this. It doesn't look like there's a lot of volume going on in it today, but for a small cap stock, AM does look like one you might want to keep an eye on. It is a biopharma as well. Keep that in mind. MGRX, if it goes over $2, MGRX, let's take a look. MGRX is trading at 173 right now. Yeah, so if it gets above that $200 or that $2 area, let's see. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything on my chart where I would be able to take a trade, no resistance previously, but I can understand a psychological area of $2, and then there is some resistance just above that, but not enough for me to want to take a peeky gander, so we'll keep an eye on that for sure. Let's take a look at the NASDAQ. Good old NASDAQ, ooh, trading down here at these lows right now. That's not very good for the old NASDAQ, but if it wants to bounce, this would be a great area for it to do it. And MGIH, let's take a look at that. MGIH and NBY. So NGIH, yeah, that definitely needs some more time. This thing is just ripping to the downside. Gave you a nice little pop at these lows at 161. Popped up to that $3 area. Guys, we have 9 minutes. 9 minutes till the market opens. So before the market opens, I want you guys to go ahead and take a look at my screen really quick. If you want to scroll on down, you can see there is a live button here. If you are not live, you want to smash that live button so it'll bring you right to the beginning of the show. And if you keep on scrolling down, we actually have a nice little thing that you can vote on here. Bullish, the market ends green, or bearish, the market ends red. And finally, if you are still here with me and I'm bringing you any value or entertainment to your life, smash that subscribe button, guys, because I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me. This is what I love doing. This is my passion, and I want you to be a part of it. Watch this small community grow. We've only been out for about 3 months. We're up close to that 500 subscriber marker, so please help us grow. Go ahead and smash that subscribe button. So up next, guys, we're going to go ahead and look at the QQQ. Now, the QQQ looks like it's on a discerning downtrend. If we just look at this right here, this is what I call a big drip. It's where it's not holding those new higher lows. It almost created this head and shoulders area, and now that it's popping back up into this area, it's not holding. It's making new higher lows and new lower lows in this area, looking like a big drip, like it just wants to fail and flush. in my opinion. Now, we do have support down here at that 313, 314 area. If it wants to hold this area, that's going to look very bullish for QQQ, but do keep in mind, we have been rip-roaring to the north side. We have not seen too much of pullbacks. We did get a nice one in March 28th, but this whole month has just been sideways action. So if it wants to hold and head higher, that could look very, very good. But if it doesn't and it wants to break that 315 area, watch out below. We might get a timber. Now we have WAL. What's going on, Charles? Let's go ahead and go over those really quick because we only have a few minutes till market open, and I want everybody to have an understanding of what's going on. And I love WAL. This is a nice looking chart right away when I open it on my hourly. So let's take a look at the daily just so we have a better understanding of what's going on. So WAL, Western Alliance, is part of that bank corporation. That bank corporation is having a hard time. That financial sector, the whole thing, has taken a huge pullback, right, guys? So in that being said, a lot of people are looking for areas of support so that way they can buy in for the north side. Now, this thing moves 7.9%, so this definitely is a mover and one that I want to keep my eyes on. Now, it's broke down finding this area that we've pointed out to you, this $26 level held strong. If that strong area wants to continue to hold, then it's going to want to push higher, and that's exactly what it did here, creating new higher lows, guys. So this looks absolutely beautiful. I do like the trading volume that's starting to come in this area. It also had earnings that came out. The earnings actually beat. They beat their earnings, and then on those earnings they gapped up 5.8% and are holding those gains. Now it looks like we're right above a key area here on WAL. So I do like this for a north style trade, risking 37.50. So those are my thoughts, not yours. And Charles, let me know what you think. Is this what you're seeing as well? Are you long in this trade? And do you want to see this thing continue higher? So I like this WAL. I think even on a pullback, if it wants to retest this $37 area, I think that might be another nice little area for a long. Now, if it breaks this area and wants to head lower, I think obviously this would be the spot that it needs to hold before it does want to go back down to retest that $26 area. So I like that. And let's go ahead and look at MBLY. Let me just go ahead and do one more thing. Let me do one more thing here, guys. One more quickie little thing. What's up, Alex? Good morning. Good to see you, brother. I am pumped that you are here right now. Let me go ahead and just fix something up here. Alex, what are you watching? Why don't you go ahead and give me your levels? Let me know what you think about those levels. I'm just trying to get this live out, baby. All right, let's go ahead. We got 3 minutes, 38 seconds. Goodness gracious. Of course, Alex, you are here before market open. I'm thoroughly impressed. Now, I'm surprised you couldn't be here for the pre-market prep, but what do you need pre-market prep for when you're taking 20% gains every single day? Only kidding, we don't take 20% gains every single day, but that is the goal, am I right? We want to make money here, baby. So if you like to make money too, hit that like, hit that subscribe button, baby, because I am here for you and I want you to be here for me. So let me take a little sip of coffee and we are gonna get it, baby. Absolutely love seeing the SPY bounce off that 410 area, but the real question is, where the heck is it going to stop? Maybe it runs into this area of resistance at 412 and starts to head lower. Maybe it rip roars to the north side and it screams at all the bears as the bulls start to head to the north. Only time will tell. We're only watching this thing for a good time, guys. We want to find those trades. We don't want to diddle in the middle. We want to make some money. So Mike Bones, what's going on? Bones, good to see you, brother. Only 20. I don't know what the only 20 is here, but you need to let me know, Mike Bones, so we have a little bit more context. And we need to make sure when our boy Dempsey comes in here, I'm going to sing to him because it's his birthday. So good morning, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know who I am, hi, I'm Dave. I'm with LoFiTrader. I love to do stock commentary, live analysis, and live trading, baby. And we have the market going to be opening here in 3 minutes. If you can get behind this, if you want to be here for me just as much as I want to be here for you, hit that like, hit that subscribe, and let me know what you're looking at in the chat so I can be your voice, your commentary, and I can give you that live analysis, baby. So right now we have the SPY trading at 412.31, looking absolutely scrumptious for you bulls trying to defend that 410 area. Now let's take a look at the Q on this right-hand side here. The Qs look like they're trying to give a small push to the north side, but like I said earlier, it's looking like a big drip. Great gray hat. Is that you? Are you Dempsey? If I'm saying it right, listen, I got to do this, man. I got to do this, Demps. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Dempsey. Happy birthday to you. How old are you, brother? Let me know in the chat. Let me know how old you are. And if it's your birthday, you better believe it, I'm going to sing to you. So either you're going to get embarrassed and you're going to let me know, or you're not going to let me know, and we're going to find out from one of your friends. So we got 1 minute till the market opens. Mike Bones says, die, bulls, die. We know who's a bear in this market, and you know I'm a bear with bull horns, guys. I love to swipe down with the rest of my boys, but I always keep those bull horns chalked up sharp because we want to see the market always head higher with your investing, with your mutual, with your retirement accounts. But when the time's right, they'll move higher, and when the time's wrong, they'll swipe down. And we want to make sure that we are making money. So whether you're a bull or whether you're a bear, you're only right if you're making money, and you're a loser unless you're learning. So make sure you're learning from your trades. We got 35 seconds till the market open, guys, so I hope you're ready. And yes, sirree, B. Stewie, I have looked at PBF last night, and I could tell that it was starting to head to the south side. It broke that 200-day moving average, which is good for the overall market, for energy to have a pull back. So keep that in mind. Now, guys, we have the market opening in 15 seconds, so let me make sure I have the right charts up. We have our alerts set. We know what's going on, and if you want me to take a look at a little something in the market open, you need to let me know in the chat. But here we go, guys. It's market open, ladies and gentlemen. Woo! And I'm glad you are here with me. This is LoFiTrader, baby, and we love to do this on Fridays. So if you want to get behind it, make sure you hit that subscribe button right off the get. Let's zoom in on the 5 minute to get an understanding of where the SPY wants to head with this overall market volatility. Sure enough, right off the get, right off the rip, we started at 412.50 and now it's pulling back to 411.99. Let's see if that VWAP area wants to hold. And the QQQs are not doing the same. They had a nice little push up to that 316 and now pulling back to 315.84. It's going to be a minute, guys, and we'll see where this overall market wants to head. I'm watching PBF. B. Stewie says, Mike Bones says, the Matador. Yes, sirree, the Matador. You got to defend against those bull pushes. Sometimes you got the red carpet out and you say, short, short, and sometimes they nick you, but they can't kill you if you're using risk management. If you're using proper risk management, guys, we are going to do great. Evening Star off the break. Yes, sirree, Bob. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market. We're going to run through this, guys. IWM having a pullback towards that 177 area again, creating a new lower low, or I'm sorry, a new lower high on this overall market. Let's go ahead and move down to the NASDAQ. The NASDAQ also having a pullback. The Dow Jones Industrial had a nice little push, but it looks like it's running right into everything else that's having an issue. A nice push and a pullback. So where is this market going to land? What is going to happen? That's why we're here, guys. We're going to figure out exactly where the market wants to head. So let's keep on keeping on. Netflix having a nice pullback right now, trading at 322.71. Let's take a look at our friend Lulu, because we know Lulu, we want to see that thing rip roaring to the north side, and sure enough it is. Look at that beautiful move, creating a new high at 378.09, but we are seeing a little fight right there at the top, pulling back to 377.28 on the blink of an eye. So keep that in mind. Lulu beautiful push to the north side, and now having a pullback down to 377.18. Of course, I need to take a look at my trades, and sure enough, IoT just stopped me out. That's A-okay. We still have another 100 shares left in this. Let's go ahead and take a look at what the damage is. So it looks like we are down $97 for that. How long can I hold on to the rest of this? I shouldn't have added in too soon. No big deal on that, guys. That is a trade that I've been playing for over 3 or 4 days now. So we'll see how much I actually extrapolated from that and how much we actually lost once I do my testing at night. So let's take a look at Microsoft. Good old MSoft. Look at that pullback. Now, guys, MSoft is looking like a big drip here, guys. Big drip. If this thing does not want to hold 282, like we talked about in the pre-market prep, this thing could rip roar to the south side, so we do need to be careful. What are you guys watching? What do you have on your watch list so I can take a look at it for you? Let's go ahead and see if Microsoft wants to actually hit that that alert target for us. Now look at AMZN. AMZN rip roaring to the north side. It looks like it's getting ready to run right in to that 200-day moving average at 106.90 or 107 in this situation, guys. 107 is its 200-day moving average. If it wants to, it's going to smack into that and it's going to pull on back. Well, you don't know for sure, though. This thing could keep on ripping roaring higher, but I'm expecting, because anytime it's ever touched its 200-day moving average, it has pulled back. So is this time different? I don't know. Disney does look like it's pulling back. It's trading at 98.11 currently right now at these lows. If I draw a little trend out here for you, you can see it needs to hold this area. The last major pullback it had, it did hold this 97.69. Now it pulled back and it actually broke through that area, which is kind of concerning for the overall stock on Disney. But this might be a good risk reward to the north side, but keep in mind, if it breaks down in this area, we are looking at a tasty little short. Now let's go ahead and take a look at Snap. Good old Snapple, snap down, snap back up. Now Snap, goodness gracious, I do like it sitting on this upward trend line right here at $10.21. And I've also said, don't buy a buy or sell button. Don't buy a buy or sell button. I'm not exactly sure how to take that, Mikey, but I read it twice and I almost wanted to read it a third time. So don't buy a buy or sell button. I'm not sure what that means, but I'm going to stand by it. I'm going to stand by it, Mikey, and I'm going to say those are some true spoken words, right? So it looks like Snap is right here at its upward trend line. It looks like it's actually cracked that trend line, and it looks like it almost wants to head lower here, guys. So that being said, a part of me really does want to take a short on Snap, but I believe in Snap. I do think Snap is a cigarette butt, at least a cigarette butt of a trade where it's got one last puff in it, and I think it can head to the north side. Now, I could be very, very wrong, but if it wants to hold these areas and break out and head higher in this area, that might be a nice trade. So what I'm going to do is try to play the range break and be alerted to this thing. If it does want to break above that $10.30, then I might want to take this, because this thing could very well bounce off of its trend line and head higher. But with the overall market looking the way it is, you know, this thing might really break down from here and head on lower. So we want to keep that in mind for both sides of the trade in case we want to be in something like this. Now, IWM did come down to this 177 area. It is showing a little bit of a bounce in that area, which is good for the overall market, but keep in mind, we have a lot of bears out there, and it is looking like bear territory with all these new lower highs being met and a distribution starting to form. So let's keep that in mind. Oh, the Kramer button? Oh, shoot, I totally forgot about the Kramer button. Yeah, no, man, I definitely won't get one of those. I wouldn't mind having an easy button, right? Make things a little bit easier. But yeah, the Kramer buttons. I do like the Kramer buttons. I do like them just because it keeps people entertained. And look, he's successful. You know what I mean? He's successful. So we might actually have to get some kind of button, a little something to keep you guys entertained. I can't do all the voice acting and that, all the voice acting, right? So SPY looks like it's trading at 411.91. This is going to be a beautiful thing if it wants to hold this 410. Wow, what a beautiful thing, right? right? So we're going to want to see if it wants to do that. Now, AI, this is why we took small share size, because we want to see this thing. Well, we want to be emotionally invested. Why am I emotionally invested? Because my capital is at work. We're down about $12 on this trade. Now, this is an area that I would want to add in. So what am I going to do? Well, let's make sure that we're on the day, and we're going to join the bid here. So why am I joining this? Because I'm defending this $20 area. I'm not saying that this is going to go higher. All I'm saying is I have 50 shares and I'm risking this $20 area. If it wants to get all the way down to $20 and it wants to break $20, then guess what? I'm out. I have nothing left to say. On the daily, looks very strong. Anytime it's been down here, this is a multi-month support area. If it breaks this area, I don't want anything to do with it. If anything, I would want to switch my biases to the short side. So yes, I do like it. Yes, it looks good in this area for risk reward, but I'm not in it for a long time. I'm just in it for a good time. And ASUR did have a nice dump right there, right back down to this key area. Now, we just talked about this thing dumping and holding this trend line. So does this thing want to continue to hold? Well, its trading range is about 10 cents right now. So I don't really care for the trading range, but ASUR being the stock it is and as choppy it is, I'm going to have to turn my eye to this. As much as I would like to buy this up, even a small share size, I don't want to waste mental capital in something that's going to have these huge choppy action areas. Now, if I do look at the daily, it's right down on a 10-day moving average. So that's nice too. I do like that as well. So part of me does want to buy this up, guys. Not going to deny that. Maybe even buy it up using the 16 area. But that's not my concern. That's not what I want to keep an eye on, just because the overall market is looking pretty bearish. Okay, so I'm not going to be going along on anything. I'm just going to be protecting my capital as of right now until I see something. Wow, IWM now right down here at 176.97. If it cannot find support in this one, and there, and 177, then we are going to see a huge dookie to the downside. So please be careful if you're out there in the longs. I'm starting to look for shorts now. So if we can see any kind of pop and then drop, that's what I would like to see. Netflix trading at 323.56. Microsoft. Oh, Joshi. Good morning, Joshi. This gives me a time. This one is for you, Joshi, not for me. This one's for you. Cheers to you, brother. It's good to see you here. Tesla completed given target at 163.25. Very nice. Bitcoin target 30.76.8. Joshi, I do appreciate you popping in here and giving us your levels. Absolutely love to see that happening. So let's see if AI wants to hold this $20 area, and let's take a look, and maybe I could just hold my breath when I go to look at my swing trade over here on IoT. So IoT is also breaking down, but I just need to keep an eye on this thing, right? So we're down about $100 in this trade. That's fine. I do want to hold. I don't want to panic sell out of this just because we're getting a pullback in the market. Now, if it wants to continue to head lower, yes, obviously, I'm not going to take a big loss on this, but I'm going to keep an eye on it so that way I understand what's happening. But I know that we have support in these areas, and I would like to see them hold before I panic sell out of anything. Let's give our trades time to play and give our one thing I need to look at, guys, earnings. We need to see if we have any earnings gap up. So LGIQ, nothing. Let's see, HCA. Okay, so HCA has a nice gap up on earnings. The thing is with this gap up, guys, is this gap up is only 6.29%. So it's not a huge gap up, 5.5%. Not a huge gap up, but it did take the market by surprise, beating estimates by almost $1. So that looks absolutely beautiful for HCA. One thing I did want to go back and look at, though, just because it looked so nice, was WAL. So WAL, I hope I put my alert on WAL. It doesn't look like I did, so I think that's what I want to do right now, is set an alert right here for WAL. If this thing wants to take off, I do like it sitting here. It's a little extended, so I just want to know what it does when it doesn't. So we're going to keep an eye on that. SGML looks like it's got a nice pop here. AI looks like it's starting to see a little bit here. We've seen a little bit of wicking off that base there now, so that's a good sign, but I'm still not sold on it, guys. I really am not. As the SPY's trading at 411.92, so that's very good for the overall market. Maybe this base here at 410.66 is its new lower high. If that's its new lower high, I'm going to be happy to see it. So we're going to keep on keeping on. So Mikey Bone says economic calendar. So I looked at the economic calendar, and there's nothing that's too volatile that's going to push the market today. And if you guys would like, I can just go ahead and show you, just so we're all on the same same page here. I'll bring up the economic calendar right here. So this is the economic calendar right here, and for today we don't have anything. We have services PMI. Okay, so services PMI, that's coming out in 2 minutes. I was not aware of that actually, so thank you so much for bringing that up. I must have been on the wrong date. So services PMI, guys, when that thing comes out, I'll just read to you what the PMI release is. The service PMI release is published monthly by Market Economics. The data are based on surveys over 400 executive and private sector service companies. The service covers transportation and communication, financial intermediaries, business and personal service, computing and IT, hotels and restaurants. The index level of 50 denotes, the change of the previous month. So PMI release is published monthly by Economics. The data is based on surveys over 400 executive and private sectors. Let's see. So that's going to be coming out. Did it? I think it just came out. Beautiful. All right, so let's take a look at it. Let me get the refresh here. And it looks like the forecast was 53.8, and the actual, no, that's the, nope. April 5th. So we're still waiting for it to come out. It should be out very, very soon, guys. Matter of fact, it should be out in 2 minutes. Is that right? 1 minute. 1 minute. It's coming out in 1 minute. So stay up, stay focused on that. It does actually say it is a high volatility release, the PMI release. So keep that in mind, guys. It looks like we are seeing a nice little bounce on AI. I do like to see that, and same thing for SPY. But keep in mind, these bounces might be met with some bear activity. So Lulu looks like it's having a big pullback there, reaching those highs at 378.09. Now trading at 375.19. Guys, if you have something that you want me to see, you need to bring it up. Take care of the fam. Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, Lulu's up here, boys. We got this right here. Having a big pullback now. We know we're pulling right back into a VWAP area, so it might want to hold this 375.42. If not, we still have room to come back all the way down to 372.34. So keep that in mind. I would love to see it, honestly, creating these new lower highs. We're in a range here, and we want to see it hold this range. If we can hold this range like it has been above a 10-day moving average, this thing might rip roar to the north side. I do like this trade to the north side, but if it breaks this 10-day moving average, my whole mindset is going to be changed, okay? So keep that in mind. So we have, let's see, let me make sure the PMI has not came out yet. You might see it move in the market before the data even comes out, because these algorithmic traders love to play these. So keep that in mind. I think what I'm going to go ahead and do here is I'm going to go ahead and add another 25 shares to my AI trade, and I'm going to go ahead and after I get that in there, I'm going to set my stop to the low of day for, at that 19.99 for another share short, if it can get me in. It looks like it's gotten half of my shares in. Let's see if we can get the rest in there. So, yeah, guys, this is awesome. This is absolutely beautiful so far for the market. We don't know. We haven't picked a direction just yet, but what will the market give us? That's the question. What will the market give us today? If it wants to push higher, I'm going to be looking for some shorts, but if it wants to break those key levels and head even higher, I'm A-okay with that too, guys. We love to see the market. If you have any type of investments, any type of mutual funds or ETFs that you're in, you want those to do good. You want those to head higher. You want your retirement, your 401ks, your Roth IRAs. You want to see all that moving higher, guys. And if you don't see it moving higher, that's A-okay too. We can put on our bear face and we can swipe down with the rest of them, guys. So I absolutely love to play both sides, guys. And if you have the ability to play both sides, and don't get too caught up in if you're a bear or if you're a bull, well, that being said, then you're going to be just fine using risk management, okay? So now we have 75 shares in AI playing that $20 base. We're going to see if it actually wants to hold this $20 base. Now, I don't ever expect it to do what I want, okay? I put my money on it to show you I'm putting my money on it. But let's see what Mikey Bones got to say, right? As the SPY is trading at 412.11 right now, we're going to see, does it want to break its high of the day, or does it want to pull back? Mikey Bones says puts on Disney and Lulu and SPY swings. Wow, so you're doing puts on all of them? if I'm getting that right, puts on Disney, Lulu, and SPY. Very beautiful. So let's see. What about LLY reversal? It said, ha ha ha, you thought. I'm reading some chats from a couple of the Discords I'm in right now. Absolutely beautiful. I love being a part of these channels. And love being invited to some of these. So Snap is at or above. So now we're going to go back to Snap and let's take a little peeky gander at Snap and see. So look, Snap does hold. It does look like it's trying to push in these areas. And it does look like I do want to take a little tasty trade on this. Why am I a little too nervous to be doing it? I don't know, but we're going to do it. We're going to do it, guys. We're going to see what this thing wants to give us. So we're trying to get in a small amount here of 100 shares. Right now, the range on this is 1029 to 1030. So we only got a penny range on this. Let's see if it can actually get me in to these shares. Okay, there we go. We got 100 shares in Snap now, and I'm going to go ahead and use its bottom of its day right here as my exit. Okay, it's that simple, guys. It's that simple sometimes. So what am I looking at? I found an uptrend. I found a huge panic sell off, and I've also found a push to the north side. So I'm going to play this little break, and I'm going to use this bottom as my stop loss. It's that simple. Now, we need to go back over to WAL. Charles, are you still with us? My alert just went up for WAL. Now, I only set this alert not to say, hey, we're going to buy this thing or we're going to sell this thing. Also, by the way, I wanted to let you know, B. Stewie, thank you for letting me know about Snap, whether I win big or I lose a little on this trade. I do appreciate the community pointing out things to me. This is the whole thing. Like, B. Stewie has pointed out more tickers that I've played than I have played myself. He's pointed out multiple tickers that I keep adding to my watch list because he has done his homework. He has done his books, and he knows what I like to see, and vice versa. I know what he likes to see too because we are like-minded investors, and that's what we're trying to create here, guys. We're trying to create a community that we all can share ticker symbols and ideas with and bounce ideas and keep each other safe. Hey, this is popping up. Hey, that's popping up. You know, we need to be a part of this group, and we need to keep each other safe, and that's exactly what B. Stewie's doing, and he's making me a little bit of money here and there. So I do appreciate you, B. Stewie, as always. You know what? This one is for you, not for me. I'm going to cheers to you and not for me. Now, WAL looks like it's getting a nice little push. Not much volume behind it, but it is getting a nice push to the north side. So if it wants to hold this this little uptrend that it's got going on here, that might be a beautiful thing for the overall market in itself too. So let's go ahead and take a look at AI. We don't want to get too caught up. Now look at that AI. What a beautiful soak on that bottom there. I almost want to add another 25, but we're not going to do that because once I add in after a winning trade has gone, a lot of times that can cause me big issues. So we're not going to add into this. We are just going to go ahead and let it keep on keeping on. Now, VKTX. Let's go ahead and take a look at VKTX. We want to make sure my VKTX, yeah, it is looking weak here. I do want to short this thing, but it needs to get up into my area. It needs to get up into this 2078 before I can even think about it, because if this thing just fails here, there was no really key area for me to risk off of. So if I'm in this, I'm just going to be sweating this whole time because I don't know where I want to get out, right? So keep that in mind, guys. That's why I have that off there. Now, we have SPY bounce is what Mikey Bones said. Mikey Bones, SPY bounce. It did bounce, and then it's failing now. So now we're down. Now, I wouldn't say failing, guys. I don't want to freak anybody out. But we are having a pullback as we expected. 411.63 right now for the overall market. Pulling back, we want to see, can it hold this 411, this pre-market low 411? Yeah, SPY is fading out now, guys. And if you look at this downtrend, you can see, and it's almost clear as day, that the market does want to continue to head lower. Now, if it wants to hold these areas, this 410 area, and head higher and create this pennant, we might see a better opportunity for the north side. But as of right now, we keep pushing lower. So pick your side, guys. Know your risk, know where your reward is, and make sure you are staying true to it. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead and take a look at IoT. It looks like we ripped all the way back up here. We're saving a little face. And one thing I know about this, when we see these big wicks like this, you know, it makes me really want to keep an eye on things because the chop is starting to get too choppy for me now. Okay, I'm happy we're back up. I'm happy we're doing well on this trade, but the fact that this thing is chopping around makes me a little pukey. So let's take a look at the is PPI the ticker or PPI the economic data. So let's go ahead and look at the overall PMI data. It has came out at 945. Services PMI forecast was 5150. The actual came out at 5370, so a little higher than expected. So take that as you will, guys. It's going to be taken differently for different people, and it's going to get taken differently in different markets. In this market, as of right now, we're looking at a lot of good news can be bad news, and the shift might change after we start slowing down on these rate hikes. And we're down to only raising 0.25%, and they might continue raising 2.5%, but how long? When are they going to put the hold on that, and when are they going to stop breaking these banks, right, guys? So keep that in mind. So WAL does look like it's having a nice little bounce off of that area. If this thing wants to break out, man, that would be a beautiful thing. We'll just go ahead and create an alert for WAL for the top of that. Charles, I hope you're still with us, because you better know, baby. You gotta know, baby. We are going to keep an eye on that for sure. So, guys, if you haven't already, I want you to take a look at my screen. If you scroll on down here, you can see that there's a live button. Smash that live button so that you know you are up to date on the thing, on my live stream. Then go ahead and leave me a chat. Say hello. Give me a ticker symbol. If you want me to look at what you're looking at, it's that simple, guys. And I would love, I don't care what it is. I don't care if you got a dumb question. It's only dumb if you don't ask it. And remember, you're a loser unless you're learning, guys. So make sure you're learning from it. Then, of course, smash that like. And if I'm bringing you any value, any entertainment at all to your life, I want you to go ahead and hit that subscribe button. I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me. So, guys, let's keep on keeping on. Let's see what's going on in the market. I want to see what Lulu is doing in these areas. So it does look like Lulu's having a wicked pullback at 375.49. Riot is doing the same thing. Big pullbacks here, guys. Big pullbacks. Let's see what the SPY's doing now. Down a little over 0.5% right now, bouncing off of that downward trend line. What I really want to see, though, is how the Qs are holding up. So the QQQ, we know that has been the overall breadwinner in the market, is pulling back to 315.21. The question really is here, can it hold this 313, 312 area? If it can hold this 312.50, 313 area, I still think we have room to continue to the north side. But if it wants to break, all biases are going to change for me. I'm going to expect this thing to head to the south side if it wants to break, and I'm expecting it to head all the way down to 305. So we're going to keep an eye on both sides of that trade, and we want to make sure we know what's going on with it. So let me know what you're watching. Let me know what you want to see. Let's see if PPI is actual. Yeah, it's not a ticker. It's the data, and I think we were looking for PMI, not PPI, but that's A-OK. That's what I'm here for, baby. So let's make sure. Now, LGIQ does look like it is up 20%, but that is a nothing. It is a no-breather. We don't even want to look at it. So the SPY looks like it is breaking down. Still, 411.47. We are on the hourly, so it doesn't look too cray-cray, but we want to run through a few of my trades right now. So IoT looks like it's at 21.81, still looking good in the overall market. Now AI doesn't look like it's really scooting boot scooting boogie to the north side right now. We have 75 shares of this trade. We'd love to see this thing hold that $20 area and head to the north side. But if the overall market wants to continue to pull back and this thing cracks, we might want to take a tasty short depending on what things look at. So keep that in mind, ladies and gentlemen. Absolutely scrumptious so far for the day. My alerts are not going off. So what are you trading? We know that we got my boy Mikey Bones in Disney puts. So right here at this base, I can't deny Mikey Bones. It looks like this is starting to look like a distribution play. If it doesn't want to get up any higher, and we have these big breakdowns without any follow through, without any buy up, without any pop, and we get lower where we're starting to wick at the bottom, but we're not seeing anything bounce too incredibly high, this is starting to look like a distribution play. So I can totally understand why you are selling puts. Why you are buying puts, or however you say it in your options world. But I can totally understand why you are selling puts. And you know what, Mikey, I'm going to have to be a part of that if we crack this 97.71. So I'm going to go ahead and set my alert in this area. If it wants to crack this area, I'm going to want to take another look at this and see what's happening. So one thing we haven't looked at is how's Snap doing after I bought it up at those lows. Let's take a look at Snap at those lows. It does look like we had a nice little bounce there off the bottom. We're about break even right now on this trade, guys, because we want to be above this area, right? And that is exactly what we're trying to do. If it doesn't want to, that's okay. Come on down here, stop me out, and we'll find a better trade to be in, because I like to make big money and make small losses here. And guys, and that's exactly what I am doing at this double bottom and this upward trend line. So we'll see if Snap wants to keep on snapping on down or if it wants to head on higher. We're going to see that very, very soon. Let's take a look at Uncle Tesla as it pulls back to 161.99, guys. Now, this 161.99 is not very, very nice for Tesla. If Tesla does not show any proof of concept in these areas, we can obviously see it heading lower. Let's take a look at Apple, good old Apple. Now, Apple, look at this, absolutely beautiful. Oh man, I was hoping those wicks weren't wicks. I was gonna say up in this area, looks like a beautiful area to maybe start getting in for a short. Now that it's down to 165.26, I almost want to zoom in more to see what that 5 minutes looking like. So it looks like we did get a nice pop up right into, well, not really the area of resistance I was looking for. You know, a little bit higher would have been nicer to say that, you know, the volume weighted average price is what it smacked into, but maybe this is what we're talking about. 3 days ago, this volume weighted average price, it ran right up into 166.55, also a psychological level it couldn't get up into. So this is looking pretty weak for the overall Apple stock, but we do have to keep in mind it already headed all the way down here 2.5% in the pre-market, and then it went back up to the north side. So it's kind of just bouncing around in this area, and if it can hold 165, that could be nice for the overall market, knowing that Apple moves the markets, right? Apple does move these markets. Now, one thing I do want to look at that I hope I didn't get too far off track, and I did, guys. Wow. So this is the thing that you're going to see. You're going to see real raw emotion coming out of me, guys. Disney, right here at these highs, I said it's having a struggle bus up there at that 200-day moving average, and sure enough, it is ripping to the south side. So now is not the time for me to try and get into this trade. Then was the time for me to try and get into this trade, just like RAI. Now was the time to get into when it was down there around the $20 area, not after it screams to the north side. Same thing with Amazon. Now is the time to get in at 106.70, not now when it is already broken down. So if what we might want to see is this thing, maybe you do a little pop, maybe I can find a better area to get in, but as of right now, things are really looking weak in the overall market. So let's go ahead and take a look at the SPY. The SPY is breaking down now for 11.12. We're going to see if this thing really, really wants to keep on heading lower as it looks like it's doing. So we're going to go ahead and let our plays stop us out as needed, guys, because I don't want to just get out of anything. I like to use my stops, and it looks like AI might actually start getting me out very, very soon here, guys. So that's A-okay, guys. We're going to keep on looking for something a little better. Now we're looking for shorts. We're looking for shorts unless the SPY wants to find this area at its base. So the SPY at these lows, I'm looking for longs. Okay, at these highs, I'm looking for shorts. So as of right now, we're kind of diddling in the middle. I'm not looking for anything right now. DIS, testing VWAP. Let's take a look at what Mikey Bones has got going on. Yes, right there, right here, testing the VWAP area. You know what, Mikey? I do like this trade. I do like this area, and I do like this breakdown. Maybe I just get in a few shares. Let me give it a few more minutes. Let me zoom in on the 1 minute. Let me take a few more peeky ganders here. 98.01 to 98.03, so we don't have, we have liquidity here to trade this. Let's zoom out on the hourly, take a little peeky gander. So my issue with this is this would be an area of buying. Like, I can't really get completely behind this just because it's holding this area. So, you know, I hate to say it out loud, Mikey, but, you know, I cannot do this. I can't do this just yet. I think it needs a little bit more time personally. I want to see this thing basically not do any trading whatsoever. I want to see this thing trading sideways, getting tighter and tighter and tighter. Now, I'm not denying you, though. I'm not denying your trade. I love the trade. I love the VWAP area. I love the breakdown, and it does look like it's doing exactly what you said. I absolutely love that, Mikey Bones. And maybe if it breaks this area of this 97.90, that might be be the area that I would want to see get in. Now, AI is completely ripping to the south side. So does it want to hold this area, or are we going to actually see this thing take off to the north side in these lows? With the overall market looking looking like it wants to keep heading to the south side, I would not expect AI to work out in this situation. And same thing with IoT, also breaking down in these areas. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get rid of at least one of these trades. So we're going to go ahead and get out of this trade right now. We're going to join the ask and get out of the IoT, the swing trade. I take that back. We're going to hold on to this just for a little bit longer, guys. I don't want to panic sell on anything. There goes Disney now breaking its floor. Disney, that would be absolute beautiful trade if this thing can keep heading to the south side for Mr. Bones. Let's go, baby. So Sky Came Falling says at Lo-Fi. Let's take a look at what he wants to show me. I'm just going to bring up this right here so we can get an understanding of what some of the people in the community are talking about, guys. So we have Disney. He's showing that it's breaking its floor, which absolutely is breaking its floor. And I think you guys want me to be a part of this, don't you? I think that's why we're getting so much attention on this. I do have this floor right here, just like you guys do, spotted out, and you know, I can't deny it. It does look absolutely beautiful. So what we'll do is we'll go ahead and we'll just hop in here with you guys, just a small short, okay? I'm only taking 25 shares and we're in it to win it, baby, but we're gonna say, you know, this VWAP area or this top is gonna be my stop loss, okay? We're doing this as a pure entertainment trade for you boys. So absolutely love it. I want you guys to know I'm here for you. Lo-Fi, I've been in and out of your live. Have you gone over AMD? No, I have not, but I will. So let's go over AMD, guys. First, let me get out of this trade so I don't have to think about this anymore. Boom, it's gone. I take a small loss on this and I don't have to worry about it, right? And we know we have our stop losses set for SPY and we have our stop losses set for everywhere else. So let me make sure, did it already... Oh, no, not the SPY. Not the SPY, the Snap. So let's take a look at Snap, and then we're going to go over AMD, guys. So Snap is still sitting there. It doesn't look very good for the overall market. We are in Disney. Let me go ahead and put Disney on here, and we're going to hold on to Disney, just small, 25 shares to the short side, guys, and I'm happy you got me in it regardless of what happens to this trade. My area was right here, this 97.75 for the break, so I'm in early for that break, but we will see what happens. So there we go. We just got the break alert, so I'm expecting a pop right here, back up into VWAP, and then that's where I would want to add. So here we go. Snap is breaking down, and we're going to look at AMD for my boy Pallet Biz. What's going on, Pallet Biz? I'm glad you've been in and out of here. Oh, Granny Randy. 1 second, guys. Granny Randy's here. Cheers, Granny Randy. It's good to have you here. Absolutely love you. Thank you so much for stopping in. You are my pride and joy, so keep on keeping on. No, don't apologize for being late. I'm just happy you're here, Grandma. And that is some good coffee. So AMD, without further ado, looks absolutely beautiful down here in this area. Now, why do I say it looks beautiful? Because I love to see range. I love to see price action and range, and we can see that it's sitting right here on this 88.77. Now, if I didn't look at the overall market, I would think, this looks like a great area to go long in. This is a very nice base. Now, when I look at AMD, and we will continue to go over AMD, but I always need to look at NVDA because that is the leader in this chip sector right now, and the chip sector leader is still pulling back. We talked about it in pre-market prep. It is kind of diddling in the middle here. We know that we don't like to play anything in the middle. I want to play either at the top or the bottom of these ranges. Okay, so we will definitely do that. We will definitely keep an eye on that. So right now it's diddling in the middle, so we can't have any discerning understanding of what is actually going to happen in these areas. So what is this? This looks like a nice little area for a long, but if it wants to break 88.52, I would definitely say that's more to the short side, okay? So keep that in mind, guys. We want to definitely keep an eye on AMD right here in this area. This might, personally, I think this is a great area for a long. We're seeing a nice big base here for this area, so it's retesting, and you know, I can't deny the fact that this is a nice area. So now part of me just wants to get in a few shares to the long side, even though the overall market is looking bearish. I don't mind these risk rewards here where I take 89.08 and I'm risking 88.48, or even better, I'm going to risk 88.24. So right there's your risk reward. Maybe I stop out today. Maybe I it's free fall Friday or something, and I start stopping out of all my trades because it is more to the bearish side. But this is the way I'm trading. That doesn't mean that's how you have to trade. And right here now, Disney is back up at those at that VWAP area, just as I said. And I would like to go ahead and join another 25 shares short for Disney in this area. Now, we have a nice risk reward, right? We have a nice risk reward here. If it wants to keep on breaking out higher and get above that VWAP area, then I'm going to want to question this trade. But we are in 50 shares shorts now in Disney with the boys, so we are going to go ahead and do it. All right, so go all in an AMD. Lo-Fi, no. Pal Biz, you know better than that. I always want to preface this by saying, hey, guys, I'm just a big talking chin. I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me, but don't take my trades. Make sure you're doing your due diligence. Now, I know you're kidding, Pal Biz, but I always have to say it because I always get a little nervous. I don't want anybody to blame me or sue me for their trades because I use risk management. I know what I'm willing to lose, and on this trade, I'm willing to lose 10 or 20 bucks. What are you willing to lose? Hopefully it's not your whole account, because our whole meaning as traders is to make sure we survive to be here the next day. What happens if you don't have a trading account? What happens? You don't get to trade, right? You get a paper trade, and all of us traders know paper trading sucks. It really does. It takes the wind right out of your sail. You don't want to show up for pre-market prep because why? You're just working on a practice account, right? So that's not for me, guys. I don't want to be a paper trader. I want to take trades, and I want to do it with real money all the time. Now, I don't want to be an over trader, and I don't want to be a trader that does something that says they won't, right? So we need to always watch our P's or Q's, and I always use risk management. So make sure that you guys are also using risk management on your trades, especially if you're trying to follow somebody else's trades. Alex C says, how we doing? Well, let's go over the overall market and see how we are doing, because I think my trades that I'm in right now, they're meh, they're meh. But, with the overall market doing its thing, we're getting a nice bounce off that 410.46, looking absolutely beautiful. And now I'm going to wish I did not get out of my IoT trade, most likely, but it's still looking A-okay. But that's A-okay, guys, because here's the thing. I'm out of the trade. I don't have to worry about losing any more money on that. And now I can look for the shorts where I really think the overall market is going to head. So if I really do truly believe in the shorts in this situation, SPY trading at 411.03, we might actually see this thing break down today. If we see it break down today, we're going to make some big money on those shorts. Absolutely beautiful. Yeah, absolutely love this new Discord join. It's absolutely beautiful, guys. I love seeing all the camaraderie. How are you doing, Alex? How are you doing? You gained anything today? You up 20%, 30%, 100%? I want to hear about it, baby. So the overall SPY getting this push back up. We're seeing some wicks off on the 1 minute. I need to zoom out. This 1 minute is just too much for me to handle. I don't know about you boys, but I've been looking at all different types of time frames. Now, if this wants to hold this 410 area, this could really be just a discerning factor. Now, personally, if I look at the overall market, I'm still thinking this thing needs more time. I think it's still going to be 2 or 3 more days in the overall market before we actually see a direction want to be held. But remember, guys, my personal beliefs is we can still come all the way down to 400 and still be intact for a bull market. Now, it seems like a long way to go, and if it all happens at once, it's going to be very discerning and very scary. But the simple fact is we do have room to pull back. Now, that is all relative, right? Some people might say, no, if it breaks this 406 or 405 area, that's where the end game is. Well, if that's for you, then that's for you. That's your technical analysis. But personally, I believe if we look at the overall daily on this thing, we know for a fact we still have room to pull back to make new higher lows. That's all we want to see on the daily is new higher lows being put. And we have new higher low, new higher low, new higher low. Now, where is the new higher low going to be formed? Right here? I doubt it. I personally doubt it. I think we pull back to at least 403 before heading higher. So I could be very, very wrong. My first analysis could be correct. We might get this bounce off 410 and show that the market is strong at 410. This is the highest level of price action is in this area, guys. 410, I will argue till I die, this 410 is so pivotal. It is such a pivotal area. So keep that in mind, guys. This 410, if it wants to bounce here, it's not going to surprise me if it bounces here and heads to the north side and we see 416 in 2 days. Okay, but Also, we do need to keep in mind that there is a lot of bearish sentiment in the overall market, which could also help with the bull rally. But I'm a bear with bull horns, guys. You know I like to swipe to the south side, but if I ever see a nice tasty trade to the north, I'm in it to win it, baby. Now, we have 75 shares in AI. We are starting to see a nice little bounce. It's trading at 20.58. Are we going to see a nice volatile run right here today on the AI stock trade? I would love to see it. I'd love to show you. So let's go ahead and take a look at Tesla, because we got Mr. Blackout, Tesla, looking like a tasty little trade here. It looks like Tesla's getting a nice little bounce. Blackout, I wonder, are you in the... There we go. All right, perfect. Thank you, Sky Came Fallen. I'm glad. Thank you for stopping in. Come on back, see me soon, and bring some money. Bring some trades, baby, because we know we love to make money in the market. So, not Sky, but Blackout said, what the heck is Tesla doing? Well, guys, if you're zoomed in on the 1 minute, keep in mind, if you're zoomed in on the 1 minute, you're going to be like, whoa, what's going on? You know, this is crazy. But if we zoom out here on the 5 minute, we can see that it's just range bound. It's bouncing off of its bottom. It's heading back up to its north side. And I really think that we're going to see some resistance here at 164. Now, if the market wants to keep on heading higher, then that's A-okay. But personally, I'm looking for some shorts in these areas just until we find this 313 base. But if Tesla wants to keep on rip city, it needs to get above this 165 and then have a pullback to show us strength. All right, so LoFiTrader, double bottom on the SPY. Yeah, baby. We actually pointed out that double bottom earlier today. Oh, yeah, I see what you're saying. I see what you're saying here, brother. This does have a nice little double bottom. It didn't make a true double bottom, but hey, you know, who's counting, right? The double bottom is what I'm saying is on that 410. So that 410 not only is a double bottom, but we're in a downtrend here. And this downtrend is going to keep creating range tighter and tighter and tighter. If this range gets really, really tight, it's forced to either go to the north or the south side. So that's what we want to see here. What is going to happen in the overall market? And right now, we're just kind of playing inside of this range. Will it break today? Will it break to the north side or the south side? Or are we just going to trade sideways and have a range day in the market? Only time is going to be able to tell for that. So let's go ahead and look at the overall trades that we have going on here. So we have AI now trading at 20.56. Looks like we're down about $6 on that trade. No big deal. AMD, we also played off the bottom there. It doesn't look like we're getting too much of a rip roar to the north side, but we're up about $1 on that trade. So taking our time on AMD, we're going to see if it wants to hold. But if we're not seeing any real power come out of AMD, I'm just going to have to go ahead and get out of this. So I'm going to bring my stop up now to the base right there. I'm going to bring that stop up to its bottom. If it breaks new lows for AMD, I don't want a part of it. I don't want to be a part of it, and I don't want to look at it. So AMD does look like it's not even a nice little pop. We're about break even on that trade. I'm afraid to look at IoT, yeah, so that's good. I'm glad to see IoT is still kind of lingering down here like a smelly fart. We don't want to ever see something that you get out of just rip to the north side. But speaking of rip to the north side, we have RETA, one of the stocks that I'm in. We're up about $123 or $25 on the day right now for RETA. I've always liked RETA as it's been following this 10-day moving average. It's also in a hot sector. What hot sector is that? Well, the health and the healthcare sector is looking really phenomenal today. So far this month, right? So RETA back up here at these highs almost makes me want to go ahead and take out some of my shares. Now I don't know what I just did to my trades there. Holy guacamole. It looks like I really messed that one up. Let's see if I can switch it. Here we go. So here's the hourly, and you can see where I got in here, guys, on that breakout. Looking absolutely beautiful for an overall trade here. So at these highs, you know, if you're in this and this is a huge amount for you and you're thinking, you know, hey, I absolutely love RETA, you know, take a little out. Take a little money out. Make sure you're paying yourself, guys. And let's catch up. Mike Bone says fire. Good. I hope I'm not on fire. Look at the general on Discord. That's how much I'm up on the account today. Okay, let me go ahead and take a little peeky gander and see what is happening. Oh my gosh. You know you like to see charts like this, guys. My boy Alex just popped in here and he goes, hey, that's when I'm up on the chart today. Well, I hope to goodness gracious that wasn't a YOLO trade you had going on there, because you know how I feel, Alex, about YOLO trades. So please tell me that wasn't a YOLO trade, my friend, because I love to see you making money, but I like to see you making money the right way. So right here on the 5-minute, what did I do to my chart? Holy cow. It looks like this chart is going down. I don't know what I clicked on, honestly. To be really honest, I have no idea. So we might just end up using one chart just so we can maximize what we're seeing in the market for you guys today. So we'll always start on the overall hourly here, guys. So let's take a look at the SPY and see what's going on, and we're going to run through and see what's happening. So SPY on this daily here, guys, now you can see it clear as day, right? On daily, you can see this bounce right here off this 410. We've been talking about that 410 bounce for a long time now. If it wants to hold that bounce and it wants to head higher, that's going to look good for the overall market. But as you can see, I drew this uptrend. It still has room, plenty of room to come down here. Personally, I think it come all the way down to 400 before we're any real trouble making new higher lows. As it is, that 400 wouldn't be too big of a surprise for me personally. But if the overall market wants to hold in these areas and start to rip roar to the north side, hey, that's awesome. Where are these messages at, Dave? I don't see them. Yeah, we're in a few different Discords now, brother. I'm getting some messages from the LoFiTrader. I joined them a while ago. They're pretty active, man. They're pretty good group of guys. They're getting me to take some trades today, which is always fun. So I'm going to just try and read the messages as they come up so that way everybody's understanding of what's going on. So let's take a look at my Disney trade here. We took this Disney trade. Goodness gracious. We need to go ahead and get out of this Disney trade, it looks like. We're back up here at these highs as Disney wants to rip roar to the north side, breaking new highs here. So we're going to have to go ahead and get out of this trade because Disney, wow, what a beautiful move to the north side there. Absolutely beautiful. So let me go ahead and just try and punch this in before it just steals all of my money. Wow, what a beautiful move, guys. You know you love to see that for the overall market because Disney does have quite a few trades in it. Now, breaking up into these areas, I would say any higher around this 98, I might want to find another area to short, but I need to see the overall market in the way it's trading. So if we look at the SPY, we know we're getting that bounce off of 410, but how high is this bounce going to go with this overall looming thing overhead? You know, this looming overhead still makes me want to find those shorts, still makes me want to find out what the overall market's doing. And same thing with the IWM right back up in this 177 area. This 177 area, guys, is a huge area for a short. So now that's two discerning factors that are showing me the short is in now that we have this pop up. Same thing with NASDAQ. What about the Dow Jones Industrial? Let's take a little peeky gander. The Dow Jones right back up there into that resistance. We have the QQQs right back up into that resistance. Saying all this, guys, it makes me want to hit something heavy on the short side. So we're seeing Netflix also rip roaring to the north side. So what those look like have the best risk reward? It looks like Microsoft also ripping back up to that north side. Let's take a look at the daily on Microsoft because I know for a fact if it breaks this area, I want to be in this. So let's keep an eye on all of it. Although I'm out of the trade, I have levels at 407, 408 for the day on the SPY. Very beautiful. Trade the flag on the SPY in the morning. Tesla puts came in the sniper, and I had a good chunk of selling volume coming through, so I caught the drop. Awesome job. All right, man, I got to go finish back. Alex, take care, brother. It's good to see you. Thanks for stopping in, wiping that sleep from your eyes, and making some money. Awesome job, Fitbull. Fitbull's making some money, too. He said he's already out of his goals. Congrats, brother. I do appreciate that. Let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market. Is SPY starting to cool down here? If it's starting to cool down, maybe we take a look at Disney. Maybe it was the best time to take that short was when I was right when I got out. You know, let's go ahead and take a little peeky gander at the hourly on that trade. So we have it pushing right back up into its highs. This might be a beautiful area for a short, guys. I do like that in this area. Wow, beautiful. It might find its double top right here and then just poop You never know. You never know. But that's what we're here for, guys. We're here to take a little peeky gander, take those trades, and see what is happening. Thanks. I took 30 cons, 165 in TSLA at 161. That is awesome, brother. That's what I love to see, Fitbull. That's what I want to hear as well. So let's keep on making that money, baby. That's what we want to see. That's what we want to hear, baby. Let's keep on keeping on. So if you guys have a tasty little trade that you made today, let me know what it was. We always want to bring the good news. I love to be the bearer, if you will, of good news, right? So let's go ahead. The SPY back up at these highs, back up in this area that is looking more like a short than anything. So what are we looking for to take a short on? Well, wow, DraftKings making new highs right there, 222. Wow, what a beautiful move for DraftKings. If you guys are looking at DraftKings, I'm actually waiting for a pullback in DraftKings. It did have that nice little breakout. Can't be buying breakouts right now in this market, although that might be a beautiful thing to do. So let me go ahead and see if I can get my... what did I do to this dang thing, man? Yeah, I have no idea what I clicked or what I did to this actual, maybe we just do these two. Yeah, either way, guys, this is fine. We'll make it work out. So GOOS, I'm waiting for this thing to break these highs so we can have a nice tasty trade to the north side. ACCD looks like it wants to keep on heading up higher. That looks absolutely beautiful on that pullback there for ACCD. That might be something that we want to take a nice little trade on. Let me go ahead and switch this up so that way we can look at this right side. We'll just go ahead and switch everything to the number 2 so that way we can see what's happening on the right side now, and we'll keep the left side up for other trades, guys. So we need to go through my trades and see what exactly is happening in those trades right now. So let's go down here to my trades. Let's see how Rita's doing over here on the top right hand side. Rita does look like it is, nope, that's not Rita. Rita, we're up about 122 bucks on Rita, looking absolutely scrumptious up here at its highs at $178. Does this thing want to keep on heading higher? Well, I hope it does, because we are going to be holding on to this tasty little trade. So we're going to keep an eye on SPY on this left-hand side. We need to go ahead and make sure that this isn't yeah, there we go. We need to put this on 2 and put this on 2 as well, so that way we can see what's happening. So the SPY right back up there, right back up into that resistance top. Now I really do want to find something to short, because to me this is looking like the area to do it in. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market. Let's take a look at Disney right here, since my boys are in Disney shorting, and it does look like a nice area to take a short, but these are my words, not yours. I'm going to go ahead and take those 50 shares one more again, just to see if we can make some money to the short side. So there we go. We're in a small 50 shares short to the south side. I am using that top at 98.54 as my stop, because if this thing wants to keep on pushing to the north side, I don't want to have anything to do with it. Now, what else do we have going on in the overall market? Well, what we want to do is take a look at a few more trades in these areas for shorts, because I want to make the most out of my money, but I want to make sure that I'm not in something that might be failing, like AI. So let's take a look at AI. It's still holding these lows. It's still wanting to hold. We're down about 12 bucks in this trade, but like I said earlier, we're holding on for that 20. If the overall market wants to head to the north side and take AI with it, I think it can really roar to the north side off of this. But if it wants to break down, watch out below. This thing can really take off to the south side. So AMD, we have the same thing going on for AMD. We played off that bounce there, but of course, like I've said earlier, that bounce is to be tested, right? So we want to make sure that this AMD trade, when it does bounce, it's going to hold those gains. And it looks like it bounced up and it's selling off right away. I don't trust it too much, but I'm going to continue to play this AMD trade as if the overall market is doing just fine, right, guys? So Disney trade, we're short a few shares. We're long in AMD. We are long RETA, and we are out of IoT. We are long AMD, and let's see, VKTX. So VKTX, I really want to look at VKTX, even though it did not give me my, it didn't give me my proof. It's not in the pudding. It's just sitting down here on this $20 area, which was acting as support before. So I'm not going to mess with that one. Let's go ahead and look at a few other trades. Let's see what Tesla's doing. Good old Uncle Tesla down here. We need to just eliminate this chart completely, I feel like. Yeah, let's just go ahead and do, wish I knew how to fix this, guys. I really do. There's got to be a way. Let's go ahead, and this will only take a second. We're gonna do, we're gonna do this. Hold on, guys. Hold your breath. We're going to do this really quick, and while we do it, we'll look at Bitcoin. As Bitcoin is down here at its area of support, we want to make sure that this area of support can be held, because if it breaks down this area at all, it has room to come down much, much further. So keep that in mind, guys. As Bitcoin's doing its thing in this area, it does have a pullback, but that is a healthy pullback for the overall market. So let's go ahead and bring back up what we were looking up, guys. So we have SPY, RBLX. I'm glad that just popped up on here. So we have RBLX right here on the right hand side. We know we had a huge drop off the other day, right back in here into its area of resistance. We know we have the SPY pushing right back up into this area. Let's go ahead and, oh boy, this must be an old one now. Trades, watch list. No, this needs to be hot watch swings. So let me know what you're watching in the chat, whether you're in the Wolf Trading, whether you're in LoFiTrading's Discord, or you're talking to me on the actual live stream. Let me know what you're watching, so that way we know what is happening in the overall market. Now it looks like Disney just got me filled, so I need to go ahead and take a little peeky gander at that. Oh, that's right, it got me out. So it looks like the overall market is doing its absolute best right now. Just keep in mind that this is an area of resistance. So I'm expecting it to pull back from here. If it does catch me by surprise and heads on higher, I'm going to be switching to the bull bias, and I'm going to want to see tasty trades to the north side. So what is going on with the overall market? Well, let me take a look at my trades. Let me take a look and see what's going on. Rita looks like it's trying to hold. IoT looks like it was a pretty bad idea for me to exit that trade, but hey, it is what it is. You live, you learn. And we have Disney, which we're out of the short now, but we're going to keep an eye on it in case the overall market wants to pull back. So we have AMD also, we're longing. So we have a long, we have AI long. So if this market does want to break to the north side, then that's going to be great. But I have a feeling we're going to pull back in this area. So let's go ahead and bring up what's hot stock longs in this area. And then what I'm going to obviously do, is go over the larger indices stocks like Tesla and Amazon. There we go. We're going to go over all the Teslas and all your Amazons and stuff like that right now, because I need to know what's going on. So Netflix looks like we're getting a little bounce. It's not in any real area that is to be concerned with. Microsoft, also another bounce. It does look like it is kind of running into an area of liquidity, but it's kind of hard telling right now. I do like that bounce off the bottom, but it needs to hold, guys, or we're going to see some horrible things happen in this overall market. So Disney, once again, right there, just clearing that high of day and wanting to head lower. I think I need to give myself a little bit wider of a stop loss on this, but we're going to go ahead and join the ask. We're going to try it one last time. This is my final try on this, guys, so we're going to see if it wants to get us in. Now, Amazon did pull back. It did have a nice little pullback here on that 100. It was a beautiful, not 100, but that 200-day moving average had that beautiful pullback, and now it's pushing back up into it, which is a beautiful thing, guys. You really do love to see it. If you have any type of investing, 401k, or any kind of account like that, you will always look at this and you'll be happy with the overall market trying to hold and push. Even if you have shorts on, guys, you have an overall market. So what's nobody's on today? Jay Young, come talk to me in the live chat, brother. We will definitely give you some trade ideas. So now we're 50 short on Disney for our last and final time. We're not going to take too big of a loss on these, but as you can see, we're looking for the shorts. Why? Because the overall market is running into its area of resistance, and I just don't see these things holding. So part of me wants to get out of this AMD trade for a small win, but I can't. I've already set on the trade. I already know what I want to see, and we are playing it to the north side. So that is that. So let me get a sip of coffee, guys, because this Nerve Center coffee is delicious and nutritious. So let's go ahead and take a little peeky gander, and let's see what we got going on right meow, because I want to make some money. I hope you do too. So let's keep kicking butt and taking names, guys. Yeah, AMZN back there at 105.97, looking pretty good in these areas. J&J's paying the bills for Jay Young. Let's go ahead and take a look at J&J. So J&J looks like it is failing in these areas. Had a nice pop up, and then those earnings, after earnings, it started to fail. But now bouncing off of those lows, looking really good in this area as it wants to continue to the south side. So we're going to keep an eye on J&J as well. So let's look at... what do I want to see here? Let's take a look at NVIDIA, Meta, and Tesla. Okay, so right here is Tesla. It looks like it's having some trouble at these highs in this area, which is pretty, it's pretty obvious after a huge pullback like this. Anytime you get a push in somewhere where it's holding and then it breaks down, the next time it pushes back up into those areas, you're going to see some factors that are going to keep it from wanting to head higher. But I have to point out, we are making new higher lows on Tesla. It pushed up through VWAP and now is pulled back, testing this VWAP area. So if it wants to hold and head on higher, that might look good for the overall market. As Disney is having, let's take a look, it's having a little bit of a pullback here from its highs, but it's not flushing through like I expected to see. So we'll see what wants to happen here for Disney. But if the overall shorts don't want to hold, you know, then they don't want to hold. We need to make sure we have our money where we're going to make it, right, baby? So let's keep that in mind. And guys, if you haven't already, make sure you hit that like, hit that subscribe button. It definitely helps this YouTube channel out a lot. One of my biggest things that I've been working on lately is growing this community, making sure that we bring you the best stock commentary, analysis, and live trading right here in front of you. I do this to show you trading is hard. I have amazing analysis and commentary. Trust me on that. I can be an advocate and give you my stamp of approval. But when it comes to trading, I am still learning like the rest of them, guys. I love to trade. I love to make money, and I do it here in front of you. But I am always learning, and I would always like to keep in mind that I will always be learning, because remember, you're a loser unless you're learning, baby. So make sure you are learning from your mistakes, you're learning from your trades, and you're learning how to do better in this market. Now, I'm just going to go ahead and say out loud, it does look like we are starting to get a little traction here. Now, this is starting to fail, just like we expected, guys. We are expecting this thing to float down to the south side. But if this thing wants to hold and rip roar to the north, watch out. Yeah, Thomas Jordan just popped in. What's going on, Thomas? Yeah, he says short everything, he says. And I couldn't agree more in this area. So it depends on what time frame you're looking at, guys. He says short everything, and I couldn't agree more. Things are looking like the short in these areas. So what are we looking at the short? Well, we got the SPY that we can short. We got the QQQs. I like VKTX if it wants to give me a pop and a drop. RETA, I wouldn't short that only because I'm in it, but a part of me wants to get out of it, right? But with the overall healthcare sector doing very well in a downtrend market, I'm going to go ahead and keep that long on. Now this IoT, it looks like it's wanting to head lower, and I'm not going to mess with it because we are already out of this stock. I've already lost a little money on it. Now how's AI faring? It doesn't look like AI wants to do much at all at these lows. I'm going to go ahead and let this play out regardless of what the market looks like. But, you know, it doesn't look healthy. Let's put it that way. It doesn't look healthy, and a part of me wants to just at least get out some of my shares, but I might regret doing that too. So we're going to keep them in, and we're going to see what is going to happen in the very near future. Now we know that we have a Tesla or a Disney short on. The short is to the high of the day. If it wants to stop me out, that's A-OK. That'll be 3 and done for me on that Tesla run. AMD, I am long off of these bottoms. Why? Well, because look at that beautiful base. I love to see the base, and I'm all about that base, no trouble, baby. So let's go ahead and keep on keeping on. We went through my trades, and I want to just see if there's something spicy out there, guys. What is so spicy out there that we might want to be a part of? Now, if Tesla can't get above these highs and it creates new higher lows, this might be a great area to take a short. I just can't. I can't do it right now because I'm blind in this area, right, guys? I'm blind without seeing any price levels. So I want to look at things like Microsoft. Look at this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, almost 4 areas of resistance just above this. So if we take a short in Microsoft, this might be the area to do so because it is showing that it is a key level of resistance. So this might be a nice little area to take a tasty little trade. We're going to keep that in mind. We're going to keep watching. Don't know what else is going on, what Tesla's going to do. Yeah, I don't think much of us know what exactly Tesla's going to do in its area just because it's kind of just trading at this low base here, Mr. Blackout. So let me just see. Blackout, are you live with me? Talking to you, brother. So yeah, Tesla at these lows, it's hard to understand what's going to go on unless you're trying to find a bull biasy, right? So if you're trying to find a bull biasy, it's hard to in this market because of where we are sitting right now, right? So if you're looking for a bull biasy in this, you could say, well, yeah, the market is on a downtrend, but if it can break out from this area, that this would be a great risk reward. We're risking either 160 or risking 161 area. So if it wants to bounce off this VWAP and make new highs, that could be an absolute beautiful thing. And I think with Disney continuing to climb higher and this QQQ trying to climb higher, that's not out of the question just yet. Personally, I am still to the short side. I still think things fail in this area just because the overall downtrend and the overall sentiment that I talked about this morning. I do think we are going to see some south side movement. So that being said, you know, we could always take a nice little trade on the QQQs. If you don't know what the QQQs are, the QQQs have Disney operation buying done, buying above 99.5 or with stop loss at 95, target 106, then 114. So Joshi, you like Disney, huh? You like Disney in this area? You think it's going to continue higher in this area, Joshi? Tesla current directions less. Currently direction less. Avoid trade in this. Yeah, I agree with you, Joshi. Avoiding that. I definitely agree with you with that for sure. Happy birthday, bro. Hope you're having a good day. Yeah, absolutely. Damsey's birthday, baby. We're celebrating. Hopefully he's making some good money and not over trading. We want you to have a good day. So Disney just clearing these highs. It keeps selling off in this area. You know, I don't like to go against Joshi. He knows kind of what he's talking about. So we're going to keep an eye on it. As much as I would love to short this area right now, you know, it's hard for me to take this short for a fourth time since I've already done it twice. But you know, that's just part of it. I want to be in with you boys. I do. I want to be in, brother. I really do. But we need to take a look at a little bit of everything to see what's going on. Wow, Apple breaking down and then ripping right back up. Now trading at 165.17. That I need to zoom out to the hourly to get a better idea of what's going on. Now, guys, I'm only here for another 30 minutes. So if you want me to take a look, a little looky gander, a peeky gander at something, you need to let me know. Apple with all these wicks looking just like yesterday with all those wicks. I called that out in the chat. In the Wolfgang trading chat, that it just looks so weak with all these wicks right up here at this top, creating another lower high and then heading lower after that. So keep that in mind. We're starting to see those wicks again, and this thing might just want to take off to the south side. And everything, in my personal opinion, does look like it needs a pullback. And how big of a pullback, I'm not sure, but the overall market does look like it needs that. So that being said, am I going to find the right short in this market, or am I just going to sit here and fiddle play around until I don't have anything to play whatsoever? So let's go ahead. It looks like SMH is right there at the lows too, which is for the semiconductors. Let's take a look at NVDA, Meta. Let's see what's going on with those. NVDA still trading in the middle, hasn't done much at all in this market. Meta does look like it does try to find and hold this 209 area, but it doesn't look like anything's really going on. Now, this is what I mean by the volatility in this market. We are really low right now. We're not seeing a ton of movement in the overall market. So if you guys are seeing something that I'm not, let me know, because I'd like to make some money too, baby. So it looks like the Netflix does look like it's trying to hold those lows at 319.19, playing, it's trading at 322.90 right now. So let's take a look at my trades. AMD does look like it tried to do what it wanted to do, but it's trying to flush back down in this area. So I don't really care for this trade right now. We're just going to go ahead. 89.08 is where I took this trade. So that is 89.08, basically right where it's sitting right now. So we're just going to keep the stop loss at this base at the bottom to see. LLY given for buy around 333 and given target 352, and open sky see this now at 382. Yeah, you know, I was looking at Lulu this morning and just the other day, Joshi, I couldn't agree more. To me, on the daily, aside from all of this overhead resistance here, it does look like a nice breakout trade if you can get in at the right time. So keep that in mind, guys. I do like it, but it is concerning the fact that we do have all this overhead resistance. So yeah, I like that, Joshi. Buy around 333. So that was way down here. Yeah, I do remember. I was here when you advocated that buy, and at least I do believe. So the SPY now looks like it did. We are getting that pullback just as we talked about, guys. Right there on the SPY, it touched right that technical analysis I drew out for you. That's why we're looking at these. And as we talk, what kind of shorts do I have? Well, of course, I'm not. Oh, we are in that Disney. We did get in that Disney. Matter of fact, I'm in 100 shares short on Disney. When did that happen? When did I get into Disney? Let's see, low key like PLL. Look at American Express after yesterday's earnings. That is a nice effing candle from Damsey. So yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at AXP. Let's take a look right here at AXP. So it looks like AXP does, let me zoom out here. So it's got this new higher low being formed, and then on earnings, it gapped right back down. Now the earnings were not that bad. They were, they did trade a bit shy of what they were asking for, but then got bought right back up. So that's a beautiful thing off of these lows, getting bought right back up. Now trading 10% higher than where it was. Now this is an American Express, just like the WAL we were watching this morning, guys. That WAL, if it breaks out of this area, that might be a nice tasty trade to the north side, and it looks like it's getting very, very close. So same thing for AXP with this overall market conditions. If these want to take off of these lows, this could be a beautiful thing. AXP still trading above a 200-day moving average even after all that concern that we had with the financial sector. Obviously, if we look at AXP and where it's trading, we know that they aren't solvent. They are insolvent, meaning they can and they do have the funds to back up what they have bought. So keep that in mind, guys. We do like AXP in this area. We do want to keep in mind, though, we are at the top of its range, so this might not be the best place to buy until it actually will break out. Now, Disney does look like it's finally giving you that pullback that we're asking for. So we're up about $14 on the trade, but still down 20 overall. So we're going to see, does this trade want to keep heading to the south side, or does it want to head to the north? With the SPY breaking down now at 411.03, might we see this thing turning around? You know, I gotta say, guys, when we're gonna play these ranges, we have to play these ranges. And if it came all the way back down to this area and is retested, I'm expecting it to bounce off of it, right? So we got a big pullback here. This is the 5-minute. If it holds a new higher low here, you know, I'm not gonna expect these shorts to do very well. So we need to make sure we're on the right side of these trades. We're gonna go ahead and get rid of this. We're gonna take that $9 and we're gonna go ahead and make sure that we are protecting our profit before we let's see, what did I do wrong here? Let's see, swings are God mode. If you just get into that level, Damsey says. Yeah, absolutely. Swings, you can make a ton of money. And there goes the SPY, finally breaking down right down to 411. Can it break down even lower? That would be absolutely beautiful for this overall market. I would love to see it. I know you would love to see it too. Now, VKTX is bouncing up right into that area that I told you I would love to see that short, and I just sold my AMD. So it looks like the overall market is flushing down to the south side. So I am out of AMD. I repeat, I am out of AMD. Just like I said, if it breaks this area, I don't want to be in it. Now, there's still support in this area. Really, we don't need to be out till 88.19, but with that big flush in where I got in, I used the low of day, and then I'm going to use that to keep an idea of where the overall market wants to head after that. So AMD breaking down now. That was a nice little trade if you caught the bounce and sold out already, but the market is doing a little double bottom on the SPY. If this thing wants to flush here, and bang, another flush to the south side, we're looking at 410.40 right now for the SPY. Is this thing going to break right here? If it does, we want to hold on to our shorts, guys, because this is going to be a crazy day in this overall market. Now, as we say, RETA is still holding those tops, so it looks like if you're in any pharmaceuticals or any type of healthcare, as the market breaks down, the healthcare are starting to go up. You can see that in VKTX as well. So it doesn't look like it's something that I would want to short if the overall market breaks down and that wants to keep on heading higher. So we don't want to get caught on the offsides. Now it broke that it's at 410.25, guys. Oh my goodness gracious. Wow. Let's see what happens here, guys. If this thing wants to find a bid in this area, it could be very, very strong, guys. If it wants to find a bid here, this thing could rip roar, guys. So let's keep on keeping on. And it looks like as the overall market's breaking down, Tesla, let's take a look. Tesla's also breaking down. So we need to be very careful in this market, guys. It looks like we are getting breakdowns everywhere now at 410. That psychological area of 410 does not want to hold. Then we are in for a doozy, guys, at 410.26. This is getting crazy. Absolutely beautiful right now for the overall market. So we're up about $24 on this Disney trade now that it hit this area. I do need to get out of this trade. If the overall market, we need to get at least half of this out. Actually, I'm just going to go ahead and sell all of it. So let's buy the market because, sorry, the system did not accept your order in the, because it's good till close. Come on. That just cost me a little money. I made $800 keep to my, nice job. Sky came falling, made a nice $800 today. That's absolutely beautiful. I love to see it. Let me know if you guys are making that money too, baby. We're about to take a nice little $18 right here off of this trade. Bada bing, bada boom. There we go. There we go. We made another we made a little bit of money right there. We're watching the SPY doing this little bounce thing off the bottom, guys. This is very concerning. A huge flush right down to that base, and if it can't hold this area, I have a big feeling that we're going to flush a lot further to the south side. So make sure if you're in what you want to be in, you're in it, baby, in it to win it. To the south side, because it looks like we might flush further, or maybe we catch a bid at this area like we have multiple times and we head to the north side. I like the bullish, let's see, hope you are, oh yeah, just Dempsey, if you're talking about it, I'm just talking, or if you're in here, Dempsey, I'm just talking about being in here on the live trade because we have a lot going on. We have a lot going on, and I'm keeping it up to date for you guys. I absolutely love this day today. Right now, the price action is getting really, really juicy. So we're at 410.43 for the overall SPY, breaking down right here. If it wants to break down in this area, this could be a beautiful flush to the south side. So make sure if you got your shorts, you're holding onto your shorts. But if this thing wants to bounce, it's going to bounce hard, it's going to bounce fast, and you're going to know it. You're going to want to exit some of those trades. So please be careful out there. Make sure you're using proper risk reward and you're making that money. So RETA looks like it's still trying to push higher. 408.5 on the overall SPY. 410.44 is what the SPY is trading right now. Let's take a look at the market. Let's take a look at AI and see where that's at. Yeah, AI doesn't look like it's going to be doing very good. Unless we get this bounce in the market, AI does not look very good overall. So we're going to see. Doesn't want to hold that 20 like it has multiple times, or is this going to be another short trade to the south side? So with the overall market on a huge 5-minute within 15 minutes, this thing pulled back all the way to 410.18. So the question is, are we going to see support being bought up in this area, or do we head lower finally after that, as the IWM also broke down to the south side? Let's take a look at Netflix and Microsoft. Netflix looked like it is also breaking down. What about Microsoft here? Wow, right there at its lows. Microsoft, wow, holy crap, guys. This is absolutely beautiful. If it hits this, we are going to say, hey, shorts are in, baby. LoFi DIS, I swung because broke bear flag in diamond yesterday. So did you swing that short, Sky? Dis, I swung because broke bear flag and diamond yesterday. So if we're looking at Disney, if you're swinging it, you know, I hope you're swinging it to the long side in this situation, obviously. But this does look like, in this area, it does look like a short sale trade to the south side, especially with the overall market looking like it wants to flush. So let me go ahead and bring up this. Let's see, found some buyers. Yes, sir, it did find some buyers in this area. It does look like a nice wick in that 5 minute. I like to look at the hourly for my wicks. It does look like we're getting some wicks. It does look like we did find some buyers. This thing is not breaking down like we anticipated. So let's go ahead and look at the overall market. Maybe we can find something trading at its base that we can find a tasty little trade on. So I do like this Microsoft. I do like where that's at. Let's take a look at Amazon. Amazon, wow, still looking strong with the overall market doing a heavy pullback like that. Very beautiful for AMZN. Let's take a look at Meta. Meta had a discerning pullback as well, breaching those highs, pulling back again. But it does look like the SPY wants to hold that 410. Very interesting. If it doesn't and it wants to break down further from here, you can bet your bottom dollar that we are going to want to be in those shorts. So now HUBS just came up on my list here. So HUBS, it looks like HUBS. Well, the overall market is doing a beautiful pullback here. HUBS pushes to high of its day today, high of yesterday, and running right into its area of resistance of 424. Now, if this thing wants to break out, this might be an absolutely beautiful breakout trade in these areas. And if the market wants to turn around as well in this area, HUBS, HubSpot, might actually be something we really want to keep an eye on. So I do like HubSpot in this area. We're just going to buy 3 shares just so we have an idea of what's going on with this stock. Now, we do need to keep in mind it is a 10-cent spread on this. So when you're getting in, make sure that you're getting in for the price you want to get in at, because if not, that could be very, very bad. You might get charged an extra 10 cents for every share that you are taking. So absolutely beautiful. Let's see, catch up on all the chats, make sure everybody's caught up on all the chats. Absolutely beautiful. So guys, if you're still here with me today, go ahead and take a look at this for me before we take a big trade. We have the like button. Smash that like button for me and hit that subscribe button, guys. If you're not subscribed, that's A-okay. Now is your chance. I'm trying to create a group of like-minded investors like you, like myself, that we can bounce ideas off of each other. Now, we have quite a few people in this group already. We've only been doing this for about 3 months. So if you want to be a part of this ever-growing community, hit that like, hit that subscribe, because I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me. We're here on Fridays, 8 until 12, baby. And if you want to see more, check in on Sundays. I give you a stock market watch list, and of course, I always love to do those shorts on YouTube. Those actually do really, really well for the show. So it looks like the SPY is really doing its dangdest to try and hold in this area. So if it wants to hold and everything else wants to hold, well, look at AMD, guys. This would be a nice little trade if the overall market wants to hold, act down in these areas. So I don't mind stopping out of trades. I really don't have a care stopping out of trades and having to re-entry, because I'm fine with being wrong. It's okay to be wrong on the trade. It really is, guys. There's nothing to concern yourself with if you're wrong, okay? The thing is you don't want to be more and more and more wrong. If you're constantly wrong, you know, you're not doing something right. So Joshi says Amazon targets 123, then 230, stop loss at 101. Let me take a look at Amazon, because I absolutely love, oh my gosh, and Hub is starting to take off. What about the SPY? you know, I really feel like I need to be in this. You know, I really do. So I'm going to go ahead and try and join the bid one more time. Hopefully it can come back down here and get me in. But it looks like people are starting to jump over each other right now in this. Maybe I can bring this up on the level 2. We can take a little peeky gander and see what's going on. We don't have any really heavy bids going on in this area, but I do want to be a part of HUBS. I've been watching it for a long time now. It's a beautiful cup with handle, so I absolutely does amazing. Let's see. Oh, I see what you're saying, Damsey. Yeah. Oh, man, that sucks. Sorry to hear, brother. But anyway, guys, AMD looks like it's trying to pop off these bottoms. I do have a nice little trade in there. I'm trying to get into HUBS. Things are looking absolutely scrumptious. And we are going to keep on keeping on. So if this wants to make a pretty little trade for us, I'm going to love it. I hope you love it as well. And if the overall SPY wants to keep on keeping on, goodness gracious, we might make ourselves some money. So let's go ahead and keep on keeping on with the overall market because I'm here for another hour, baby. So if the SPY heads up, what's going to happen to the overall market when it comes to your pharmaceutical trades? Well, I'm assuming that if the market goes up, just like when the market went down, pharmaceuticals went up, I'm assuming, and you know what assume spells, that the market is going to head, the overall pharmaceuticals will head down when the market heads up. So will the market head up? Will it head up? That is the real question here, guys. If the market wants to head up, we can make some nice runs to that north side. But if it wants to head down, we need to make sure we're in the right area. So VKTX, if the overall market wants to keep on heading up, I really like this area for a short. So I'm just going to go ahead and get in, not for a long time, just for a good time. And it feels like I'm over trading at this point, guys. It really does. So I think I'm just going to go ahead and calm down on my trades. I'm going to hold on to what I got, and then we're going to see what happens, okay? VKTX, we don't need to be in any more trades. I like this bounce. If it doesn't want to bounce, then I'm going to have to keep myself open-minded to the fact that we might head down even further. And right away, right as this breaks through this area, it looks like it wants to continue to head higher for VKTX. Not in it for a good time. I'm only in it for a good time, not in it for a long time. And right now I'm not having too good of a time. So we're going to see what happens with the overall market and these trades. So let's keep on taking a peeky gander at what's going on with the rest of them. So it looks like we're up a couple of bucks for AMD. Let's take a look at AI. It looks like AI is trying to continue to bounce off those, but not getting anywhere fast at all, guys. So it looks like the overall market still has the sentiment to the south side, which is pretty obvious, you know, but at these lows, we want to see a bounce before we see more continuation to the south side. I don't think it's going to break just yet, but it just may. If it continues to look this week, it just might do that. So we want to keep an eye on everything that's happening in the overall market. So let's take a look at the SPY, and it looks like it is heading lower. VKTX rip-roaring to that north side. Wow. Let's see if we can get it up to 21.16 before adding that last piece. If it gets up to here, I'm going to add, and then we will be quick to cut if it does get any higher than that. So let's keep on keeping on the SPY, just trying to figure out what it wants to do here after that huge pullback. Doesn't want to hold, doesn't want to rip roar to the north side. We know we've seen it multiple times do that exact thing off of 410. Let's see, RETA, R-E-T-A, is still doing well, up another $24 on this market at $123 is how much I've gained on this overall trade. A part of me wants to get out of this being at the highs, but I am going to hold on to this until it breaks that 10-day moving average. So that way, regardless, I am making money. I am going to hold off until then. So that 10-day moving average is my stop loss now, okay? If it breaks that 10-day, and not just breaks it, it needs to close and hold below it in order for me to want to be out of that trade. So that is that. Let's take a look at the IWM. It looks like bot has filled my hubs. So my HUBS trade is now, I am in that. So it is a breakout trade. Now, I always say I'm expecting to lose on my breakout trades. I really am, guys. I'm expecting to lose on my breakout trades. And why do I say that? Well, it's really, really simple, guys. Breakouts only are going to be in a good market or only going to work out 35% of the time, and that has been back tested. I'm not just pulling numbers out of my butthole right now. This has actually been back tested. I've watched many, many studies. I did not do the back testing myself, but I know the people that did, and I trust those people. Now, if we want to go ahead and say, yeah, we believe that the overall likelihood of playing a breakout trade, then the overall likelihood of playing a breakout trade is low, right? So if you're going to play a breakout trade, you need to understand the fundamentals of the stock. You need to understand why you're in that stock and the technical analysis behind it. So you need to make sure that the stocks that you're in when it's a breakout trade aren't just these low float crap stocks that you're in. There's ways to play this and there's ways to look into it. And if you're interested, I also have a few shorts on books, but right here is the book that you want to look at for your cup and handles, for your breakout trades, for anything like that. So you need to keep that in mind. If you're ever playing anything like that, you want to make sure you have a discerning factor and an understanding of what the overall market it should do in those areas. So right here, we can see it tried to break out. It didn't. It broke out but pulled back. It broke out but pulled back. With each pullback is a new higher low, creating this upward trend line overall for HUBS. And that's what gives me my conviction to play this right here on this 10-day moving average. So if it wants to break out in this area, now would probably be the time that it might want to do that. So when we look at the SPY, when we look at all of these indices, we need to see these lower highs being made on 410. If not, I don't expect HUB to go too much higher. So we're keeping a tight stop loss, and we're going to keep a very close eye on HUBS, because if the overall market wants to head north here, amazing. HUBS is going to rip roar to the north side as well. Maybe we get a head start in front of that market. So that's just what I'm seeing for there, as where AI is just trading sideways at 20.45. Our average in at 75 shares is 20.65. So we're down just a few pennies on that. As Disney, look at that, absolutely beautiful. Still pulling back, but trying to hold support on that VWAP area. So I do hope, just for the overall bullish sentiment, that the market will hold this for Disney and head on higher. So absolutely beautiful so far for this price action in the market. What do we want to do? Do we want to keep on keeping on? Well, we're up a little bit now in AMD. If the overall market does want to hold this area and AMD also wants to hold, this is a great buy opportunity. So I'm glad I'm in this at 88.62. Will this continue higher? Well, I don't have my crystal ball. I lied. I do have a crystal ball, and we can ask the crystal ball if you would like to. Oh, crystal ball. Oh, crystal ball. Will AMD print money? Yep, it said yeah. It said yeah. And there it goes. That's printing money, baby. And now we're getting that bounce off that SPY. We're at 410.93. Can we keep on heading to the north side? You know I want to see it. You know I love to see it, baby. So let me make sure that I am not in anything too crazy right now, guys. AI, Hubs, VTI, AMD, VOO are okay. We got everything on here except for, I don't think I have Snap on here. So we need to look and see how Snap is doing. Did I set my stop loss? I hope I did. Yeah, there we go. So we're still in Snap. We're playing Snap, and it looks like, aw, Snap. Snap might actually hold this area and head to the north side. We have 100 shares at 10.29. It's trading at 10.21 right now. So absolutely beautiful for that. Good morning, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. If you don't know, now you know. My name is LoFiTrader. I love to do stock commentary, live trading, and live analysis for you. So if you don't see something that I am watching, or you want to see something that I am not, go ahead and leave a comment. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, because I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me. So do a favor for the channel and hit that sub button, baby. So we're in Snap. It looks like it's wanting to snap up higher with the overall market, bouncing off that 410 area. It looks like HUBS maybe, just maybe, will find a breakout in this market to swing higher, but we know the overall market sentiment is to the bear side. So why am I fighting? Well, maybe I'm a contrarian. Maybe I like to lose money. Only kidding. AMD, now we're up about $34 on this trade, looking absolutely scrumptious. My afternoon trades are always better than my morning trades. Maybe I start waiting until at least 11 before I start trading, guys, but that is to be decided in future references. Now, Disney, good thing we have stop losses. We made some money on the downside of this trade, but with the overall market bouncing off that bottom, I said time to get out of this trade. So we made some money on the trade, bringing our losses to a minimum. Looking absolutely beautiful. NASDAQ IXIC may behave like Tesla below 119.80 for more than 1 hour. I'm expecting one up move in the market because Dow Jones target of 34446.9. Looking absolutely amazing. Thank you so much for that, Joshi. Now do keep in mind, guys, we are at the SPY's VWAP area. What does that tell me? Well, that tells me that usually if we're bouncing hard back up into a VWAP area, if we don't break through that VWAP area, we are most likely going to have a pullback. So what am I going to do? Well, simply put, I'm going to exit half of my trade here. Bada bing, bada boom. There, I just sold out half. That means I've locked in about $30, $21, roughly around that area. Now, I'm going to go ahead and bring my stop loss now up to break even. 88.62 is going to be where my stop loss is. And wow, what a beautiful trade this was, guys. And I'm so happy you could be here to watch it. So now I have my stop brought up to break even on this trade as it continues to print me more money. Now the SPY ripping up to 411.64. Watch out, bears, because if you had your shorts, you might want to hold on. You might want to hold on, because if we keep creating new higher lows, well, then we are going to expect to continue to head to the downside. And that's why we're taking profits while we're here, because if this thing wants to come back down, I at least made my money off of this market, off of this trade, okay? So if we look at this, yes, it's looking bearish. I played to the bull side, and I'm still bullish right now until we get back up here to this 412. Now, if it wants to come down, I've already made my money and my stop loss is to break even. So we have nothing to worry about with this trade anymore. So on to the next one. Let's take a look at AI. With the overall market pushing up, I would expect AI to have a nice little push to the north side, but we're not seeing that right now, are we? So that has a bit of a discerning factor with AI not being able to get above those areas. Part of me does want to exit some of the trade, but because it's forming an accumulation, but it is also on very low volume as well. So we need to see some volume come in for this, and we need to see it start to break one of these ranges to start heading to the north side. Let's take a look at the IWM Russell 2000. The IWM Russell 2000 looked like it had a nice push right back up into that VWAP and now is pulling back. So the overall market sentiment is to the south side, and I'm not really caring for it. So I do want to get out of more of that AMD trade, but we're going to let this play out, because if it creates new lower highs on the IWM, on the SPY, on the NASDAQ, on the Dow Jones, on the Qs, well, then we can see continuation to the north side. But do keep in mind the QQQs are sitting right up here at its highs again. So we can expect to have that pullback, guys. We can expect pullback in these areas. So don't just freak out when you see a pullback. Understand that there's pullbacks, and that's why we use risk reward. That's why we give ourselves room for that risk reward. Now, do keep in mind the dollar did jump up to 102, back down to 104.87 so far today, and also the VIX just trading at 1721. So nothing too crazy going on there. Netflix still just trading sideways from its open at 321.81 right now. Let's take a look at Microsoft. Microsoft back up at those highs, looking like a tasty little short right here, guys. I do like this for a short. It does showing a double bottom that it's running into from previous days. If we look at these in pre-market, it's just hard for me to jump onto that, though. It's hard for me to jump on that just because the overall sentiment should be to the north side. And I say should be because I don't know. Neither should you, or if you hear anybody else saying that they know for sure what is going to happen in this market, I would run away. Hold on to your money, because the next thing they're going to ask for is for your subscription, for your money. And you'll never hear me ask of that here with LoFiTrader. What I like to do is give you everything for freaking free. Free, baby, free. Everybody loves free. Well, what else comes with free? Well, just 3 questions. Make sure that you're live, make sure you're here for pre-market prep, and make sure you hit that subscribe button. Helps this channel out tremendously, and we grow this ever-growing community. We're always helping each other, and I've already made a little bit of money off of some of the trades that you people have told me to stay keeping an eye on. So thank you for that. Thank you, community. And if you want to be a part of this, just hit that like, hit that subscribe button so we can see you every Friday. And you can check out my stock market watch list on Sundays, guys. We make them fun, we make them volatile, and we hope hope to see you there. So we still have a whole hour left of trading with LoFiTrader today. So go ahead and leave me a comment in the comment section. Let me know what you're watching, guys. I absolutely love this price action today, and I really do think that we might get caught off guard if we don't keep a close eye on the SPY. Bouncing off that VWAP area now, can this area hold? I do expect some more downward movement, but if it does want to surprise us, if it does want to show us a tasty little north side trade and it starts squeezing some of these bears out, well, we want to make sure we're on the north side then too. So are we range trading today? We sure are, ladies and gentlemen, we sure are, and I absolutely love playing the range trade, but I always like to leave a little piece on to see if we can't catch something for the bigger move. All right, let me make sure we got everybody we need to in here, guys. The wolf trading is looking good. Let's see, the LoFi still holding FRC. Oh, come join me. Let's go ahead and take a look at duality. Yeah, baby. Okay, everything's looking really, really good right now, guys. Absolutely loving this market. Let me just go ahead and check on my Facebook. I want to make sure that we have everybody that we possibly can in here for this last hour. We want to get that last push. Come join. Last hour of live, baby. All right, guys, so we're going to go ahead and keep an eye on everything that's happening. We know exactly what's going on right now. We're in the middle. We're diddling in the middle for SPY. So can we get up higher? Can we keep on booming to the north side? Or is this where we start pulling back even further? I tell you what, if we keep running through these, we'll have a better idea. As Snap, just down about $8 in this area. This was called out to me by B. Stewie. Why do I like this so much? Well, look at the price action down here, guys. This is multi-lows after Snap has already showed earnings. They're showing proof of concept, they're showing proof of earnings, and this low here, sure, it could break down, but I love the risk reward. I'm risking a little to try and make a lot. This could be a beautiful swing trade to the north side. Now, I'm not giving you buy or sell recommendations. I'm letting you know what I think, my thoughts, my feelings. They are mine, not yours. So don't sue me, bro, okay? Make sure you're using risk reward. Make sure you know what you want to lose. And I say that first, guys. You always want to go ahead and take a little peeky gander at what you can lose. What are you willing to risk on this trade? And then look for the profits. As to where a lot of new traders want to know, how much money can I make on this trade? Okay, let's go all in. And they have no idea what their downside risk is, one, or two, where to get out if the downside risk starts to prevail. So Snap, I like the downside risk. It looks like it's holding these downside risks. And if it doesn't hold it, then I'm out. And that was fun, right? Now, HUBS, we're down about $4 in this trade. We just grabbed some shares of this trade. Now, I wanted to play this breakout trade, so I only grabbed a small 10 shares long because I don't believe so much into this. But I do like the risk reward on this, simply put, because if the overall SPY does want to surprise us today and break out to the north side, I want to be in this trade. If not, I'll take a few dollar loss because I know that my breakout strategy does factor in 35% win rate, meaning we need to take small losses and gain big wins on these strategies, okay? So I like the trade, and I'm going to hold on to the trade until my daily shows me otherwise. Daily showing otherwise would be a break of the 10-day or this trend line, all right? So that's what I'm seeing. That's what you are hearing. Let's keep on moving. AMD, we are long in AMD. We have already gotten out half of our trades. We took 100 shares long down here around this 88.62 area. What a beautiful trade. Now that we have played this trade to the north side, we got out at VWAP. Very, very clean trade in this area. We took out half. Now the other half is just sitting in here for an overall sugar trade. What do I mean by that? Well, if it pulls back, it's going to stop me out for break even. If it wants to continue higher, then I'm just gaining more monies, right? I absolutely love to make money. What I am going to do though is further protect myself because I do anticipate a further breakdown. So I'm going to go ahead and get out another quarter of this. So I'm getting out another 25 shares. In this area. There we go. We just got it out. And now that stop loss gets put right back to break even. So right here, now if I stop out, I've already locked in $30 in profits so far for the day. So if the $10 that I have left in this wants to break down and stop me out, that's okay. But I like those longer runs. I like the idea or the fact that AMD might continue to head higher after touching these lows. So I'm going to go ahead and let my winners run after already taking good profit. Now I need to make sure that we're caught up on the chat. We just need to make sure that we're not falling behind on anybody. Good. Joshi, SPY buy above 413. Target 419 or buy here above, but stop loss would be 407. So yeah, I do like that trade. And you said that, oh, I don't have a timestamp on that, Joshi, sorry. But yeah, above 413, yeah, I can see that. I can definitely see that, Joshi, because then you're breaking the trend line, and then you would want to risk this trend line in this area. So I totally like that, Joshi, and we definitely want to keep an eye on that. So we have the SPY now pulling back from that VWAP area. So if you're in some shorts, hold on to those shorts just like we talked about, guys, because if the overall market wants to pull back again and retest, it might not have such a high bounce like it did that last time. So let's go ahead and take a look at the overall market. Yeah, the IWM looks like it's breaking down. NASDAQ looks like it keeps touching those tops there in that area. Dow Jones Industrial just trading sideways. Well, the QQQ looks like it found some resistance back up there at those tops, just kind of bouncing around here. If you want to play the range, it looks like a good range day to play in between those that area. Microsoft, now Microsoft in this area does look like a good short. I do like it. It just keeps creating this downward trend line. You know, it doesn't look like, you know, it really wants to get up and go, but it is holding this VWAP area, so we're going to give it a little bit more time as to where Amazon, AMZN, back up there at that 200-day moving average. You guys, you know you love to see it. Now, I said I regretted not playing this the first time. Am I going to regret not playing it a second time? Well, I think we at least give this a little try here. Let's give this a little try and see if we can get ourselves a tasty little trade on this AMZN. Let's see if I get enough buying power for 100 shares short in this area. And now we are in it to win it, baby, but I don't want to be in it for a long time, just a good time. 100 shares short on AMZN. You guys know how much buying power that is? That's a lot of buying power right there. So we have probably, I don't know, I don't even want to make myself nervous, but let's take a look. Let's see, AMZN, the buying power on this is 10 grand, 10,659. It's not that much. It's not anything crazy, but it's definitely enough to make my heart stutter, shake, flip, flop, flangle, matangle, I don't know, whatever words you want to say are concerning. I just seen this trade once, and I thought to myself, Amazon at 200-day moving average. The last time I seen it up here, we had huge pullbacks. 1, 2, and now 3. Well, we're in Amazon 100 shares short right now, guys, and I'm going to risk this high of day. Just simply put, I expect this thing to have a heavy pullback. So I have conviction in this trade, so I'm going to hold on to this, hopefully for a long time and a good time. So Granny Randy says, gotta go. It was nice being with you all. Granny Randy, you are near and dear to my heart. You know I love you. Thank you so much for stopping in and saying hi. It really means the world to me that you are still here supporting me every single day. Guys, Granny and Randy, huge round of applause for her. You know why? She raised me. She's a beautiful woman. I wouldn't be here. I would not have the love in my heart that I have today if it wasn't for Granny Randy. So, Granny Randy, thank you so much for stopping in. Much love. This one is for me, not for you, though. Haha. All right, guys, let's go ahead and look at the overall market. Since we are in this spicy little short trade, we're going to see what the overall market wants to give us now. So as the SPY looks like it's trying to fret, it's trying to finagle its way to the north side. Of course, if you want the market to go higher, just wait till I get in short, right? So we're going to keep an eye on this. We're going to see what really wants to happen in this area because this 200-day moving average can be finessed. Goodness gracious. So let's go ahead and put my stop loss right at the peak here because we don't want to lose more than what we want to lose, right? Never. You never want to lose more than you anticipated losing. And if you do, well, let's learn from that. Because always remember, you're a loser unless you're learning, right, guys? You're a loser unless you're learning, and that's how I truly feel. And I will say it to your face. I will. You're a loser unless you're learning. Guys, we have to learn from our previous mistakes. We got to learn, you know, one of my biggest things is over trading. I love to trade, and I'm doing it here in front of you, and I do it a lot. So if I'm going to over trade, I need to put a stop to that. I need to damper that. I need to find different ways around that so I don't over trade. Well, one of them is just telling yourself, no, I'm done trading. I'm done over trading, you know, but a lot of people don't see true to that. A lot of people have a hard time with that. So keep that in mind. Let's see. I don't know. We need AI to rob the other side. Yes, sir, Bob. Let's go ahead and take a look at AI, by the way, since I'm expecting such a big pullback in this market. And look at AI right here. It's still creating this accumulation. And honestly, I might have to add into this if it wants to take off. Keep an eye. AI here. Yep, definitely want to keep an AI. Volume. If volume comes in, yep, if volume comes in, we're going to want to see this thing to the north side here. So it looks like it's starting to accumulate. I do really, really like it. And wow, this looks absolutely amazing, guys. Sorry, I'm getting a little quiet here. I don't mean to have any dead time on the air. But guys, when I start to see something I like, and we're getting a little chirp of volume. Now, it's not a lot, don't get me wrong, but it is more than what it was, right? And it looks like NVDA wanting to... nope, I don't want to say that. Let's look at the SPY. We're going to keep an eye on this, guys. So the SPY is looking weak here, but it looks like the AI is starting to look a little tasty right now, getting some volume coming in, creating new higher lows, new lower highs. It's looking like an accumulation to me. Let me zoom in on the 1 minute. So the 1 minute does look even better for an accumulation. What is an accumulation? Well, let me point this all out before this happens, right? We're going to use this. We have a high. We have a new lower high. We have a new lower high. Okay. Well, this was the new lower high. Now this is the new lower low. Okay. The new higher low. The new higher low. The new higher low. So that means right in this area, this VWAP area, is its area where we're going to want to see this thing breaking out. So right here, I drew all the higher lows out for you. I can draw this out. I drew all the lower highs out here. I can draw this out. Okay. And now we can see it's broken up above that trend line. Now this looks really, really messy, so I'm going to erase it here in a little bit. But if it wants to continue higher, this would be the place to do it. If it wants to break down, we can still come down to this 2046. But if we don't hold these trend lines anymore, I'm not going to wait for me to come all the way back. Well, I might wait to go all the way back down. But this is looking really good for AI right now. Now, we need the market, though, to participate, because I don't think AI is going to scream to the north side without the overall market backing it up. Now, right here in this middle, I don't expect the market to really push any higher, right? So we might get a nice little offset. If the market does come down and AI wants to rip to the side, hey, you can pay me to be wrong. I'll be wrong all day, baby. Absolutely, absolutely. But we want to see what the overall market is doing. So let's go ahead and look at the SPY and the QQQ now. We just looked at the SPY. Now the QQQ does look like it's trying to hold new higher lows above the VWAP area, looking pretty strong. And look at this AI. We're starting to get, there it is right there, guys. Now I'm going to add 25 more shares into this right now, okay? Bada bing, bada boom. So this is the AI. This is the AI trade that we are in. I'm trying to get in 25 more so we can get 100 shares to the long side in total right now. We're up about $1 on this trade, but trust me, if this thing wants to take off like I keep saying that I want it to, we are going to see this thing head a lot higher. Now, these are my trades. These are not your trades. So please keep that in mind. So we need to make sure that if you are in, oh, here we go. Amazon just stopped me out too, guys. So it looks like we might actually get a nice run to the north side on some of these trades. Let's take a look at AMD. Is AMD still holding out for me? Yes, it is. Let's take a look at AMZN. Now, I did short AMZN, but look at that. That's why we have stop losses right there, guys. That push to the north side. Absolutely beautiful. SPY bull flag moving. Absolutely it is. Sky came falling. Absolutely it is. So we need to be careful in those shorts, guys. We want to make sure if we are trading this, you have proper risk reward. Now I'm all out of Amazon. We took a small loss on that. Actually, I need to see what that loss was actually on AMZN. And we lost $16 or $17 on that trade, and for good reason, guys. It looks absolutely beautiful. The fact that it just ramped right up stopped me out of that. Can it keep on keeping on? I would love to see it, obviously. because you know I'm a bear with bull horns, baby. An Amazon over a 200-day moving average? You gotta be kidding me. What in the float is going on? Let's go, baby. Let's freaking go. Meta looks like it's trying to hold out on these highs as well. Can we get another push to the north side for Meta? How about NVDA just diddling sideways constantly? There we go. It got me my last 25 shares in AI. Now, we need to see this thing hold the VWAP area. This VWAP area, if it starts playing around in this 2050, I'm going to be looking to exit the trade any lower than 2050 now, okay? So I'm going to go ahead and move all these stop losses up, because I have a feeling it's going to flush, but it's going to find its pullback. I've been playing these accumulations long enough to know that a lot of times this is what's going to happen. But remember, this is my trade. This is not your trade, okay? So keep that in mind. I'm 100 shares long at 2065. It's trading at 2065 right now. So this is where I am averaged in for the long, guys. Okay, so keep that in mind. This is my trade, not yours. I'm doing this for your entertainment and for my bank account. Now, I have lost before. You've seen me lose, and I am a loser unless I'm learning. So if we lose from this trade, we're going to learn a little something from it. But right now, this is my accumulation play. These are the plays that I wait for. This is the things. It's hard for me to wait when I overtrade. But when we see these accumulations build up and they break to the north side, I love to play those breaks. I've made a lot of money playing these, and they have been pretty profitable, and overall they've been, what do you say? These have been my average winner. So let me take a sip of coffee. I'll figure it out. My accumulation strategy to the long side is a huge and higher win rate than most all of my trades. This is why I actually first started studying through Trade the Matrix, which is an awesome, awesome website. If you guys want to go to it, I'll actually just go ahead and put his plug in now. He's got a ton of blogs, so if you're not afraid of reading, you know, a lot of people don't like to read. This guy has it all on short sale, long sale, the overall market trend. Trade the Matrix is absolutely amazing, and he's the one that actually taught me how to do these accumulation longs. So in this tradethematrix.net that I posted for you, you can see all the accumulation longs. Good reading material. So right here we are in accumulation breakout for AI. We want to see this thing continue higher to the north side. We also want the market to be backing this trade up. So if we look at the SPY, we see it's just kind of trying to hold a new higher low here, but we're not sure exactly what's going to happen just yet, as the QQQs are trying to make new highs. Now I know for a fact, with AI being a part of the overall technology sector, I think if the QQQs go higher, the overall AI stock and the AI trades are also going to go higher. Now we do have an AI list if you're looking for something that moves a little faster. And that is very volatile as well. You can go ahead and take a look at this AI list that I have curated for you guys. This AI list contains BFRG, which looks like it's heading lower, BBAI, which looks like it's trading sideways and trying to make an accumulation just like its sister stock AI, SAI, we also have AI, which we're in right now, GFAI, which we've made quite a bit of money off of. We made last week about $100, $150 off of GFAI within 30 seconds, I think it was. So absolutely beautiful. CXAI is also another one that looks like it's creating this beautiful range here, holding this $8 area. And if this thing wants to keep trading sideways, this might have a nice little breakout to the north side too, creating new higher lows in the overall market. Now, it looks like AI is having a bit of a pullback, which that is to be expected. Like I said, guys, these things can come all the way back down to its breakout area of this 2049 to retest before heading higher, and that's what I want to see. If it doesn't want to do that, wants to keep heading lower, that's fine. I'll take a $20 loss for the expected hundreds and hundreds that I could gain on this stock. So we're going to keep an eye on it, but make sure if you are in this, you're using proper risk reward and you're not going all in on one stinking trade, guys. We had the breakout here. It's trying to pull back. We're going to see if we get some volume to come in for this pullback, and we want to see the overall market just heading right behind it. So let's take a look at some of the other trades that we are in. Let's take a look at Snap. good old Snap sitting down here at its base. We're not seeing too much happen with Snap. We're not seeing much liquidity either, guys. This is looking really, really weak for Snap. Low liquidity, low trading action, especially at these lows in this area. It's not looking too good for the overall Snap trade. I'm going to go ahead and move my stop loss up to right under this area, just because I don't care for the looks at this at all, guys. So if Snap wants to break this area, I don't want to be a part of Snap anymore, and it can go ahead and get me out. Let's take a look at HUBS. So HUBS does have that pullback. I'm not worried about HUBS. This is going to be a trade that I'm going to be in for a little while. I'm going to be holding on to HUBS. I'm going to make HUBS, that's my baby. It only moves 2.8%, so my capital is going to be tied up for a little bit, and if I need it, I can always squander this capital and go somewhere else, but I'm only holding around $4,000 worth of HUBS, so we'll see what happens with this, but I do like this for an overall longer-term trade if it wants to hold these lows. Now, guys, we have 30 more minutes left in the overall trading market with LoFiTrader, so if you want, go ahead, leave that like, leave that subscribe button, so that way you can be notified every time I show up here, so I can give you the data, the levels, the drops, the news, the everything, baby. I want to be your big talking head, because this big talking shin's filled with coffee. You can hear it sloshing around sometimes when I move my head too fast, and if you want to see it, if you want to be it or believe it, baby, hit that like, hit that subscribe button here. I am here every Friday going live for you. After this, today, guys, I got a nice announcement, a nice announcing job after this. So I'm working every little side job that I can. We're gaining the money by the masses. Absolutely love where I'm sitting at in life right now, and I can't wait till I just do this full time so I can be here every single day with you guys like we started after I tore my MCL. But I'm out walking around making money again, so my MCL is better. Let's take a look at AMD. Now, we're still in AMD, guys. This looks absolutely beautiful. We held on to this overall trade. We even moved this up a little bit higher because we liked the fact that this thing might take off. Now, we moved the stop loss up to break even, because if this thing doesn't want to hold on in this area and wants to break down, we've already made our money on this trade. But if the AMD trade wants to continue higher after finding these beautiful lows on these bottoms, I gotta say, I want to hold on to these last 25 shares to see really what it can do. This might turn into a longer term trade if it does. If not, it wants to break on down, it's just going to break me out for break even, guys. We're only up an extra $15 on this trade, so we're going to see what exactly wants to happen there. I do want to look at AMZN, because it did stop me out of the trade that I was absolutely in love with, and we want to see right there now at the 200-day moving average, will this thing start to briggity break on down, or is it going to keep on heading on higher? So don't have too many levels to go off of now, but it does look like the QQQ is making a very, very discerning top here at this 316 area, because it cannot push any higher. It's just pushing, trying, pulling back, pushing, trying, pulling back, but it's making new lower highs. So that's an absolute good sign for this market. If it wants to break to the north side, that's going to be absolutely amazing. So what will this market do? When we look at the QQQs, it looks like we have a nice area at this bottom that we could play off of, that we did play off. But at these tops, we're kind of just range bound in this area. If it doesn't want to hold this area at the top and push higher, I'm going to have to say it, watch out below. I would take a big short sale trade to watch everything burn, baby, burn. So we're going to go ahead and keep a look at a little bit of everything. Disney still heading back up there off of those lows, looking really good. AI now, just kind of trading sideways bound, trading at 2061. I'm not going to be in this all day. If this thing doesn't want to make this move soon and the volume doesn't come in soon, then I don't want to be in it, because this is how accumulations work. What happens is they form the accumulation, they break out of key areas, they either start squeezing stocks and finding buyers, or they push up, they pull back, they retest, and then the volume comes in and they push higher. But if it does not work this way and it wants to break on down, then hey, I'm not in it for a long time, just a good time, baby. And it looks like the QQQs are pushing back up to 316.20, and also, goodness gracious, great balls of fire, we are starting to see a little bit of activity for AI. Now, this push isn't much and it's not on volume, so I am not too excited for it, but we want to see that volume come in. If the volume can come in and we can break up to the north side, we might see a beautiful, beautiful beautiful trade here on AI. So we're holding, but we're going to see what exactly wants to happen. As Disney is starting to push back up towards those highs, but you're not seeing a ton of volume come in this area. So maybe this pitters out, maybe this slows down, and maybe it wants to start heading down lower. Maybe we take in a nice little short just for that downside move, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer because there's other things that are a little bit more concerning factors here, like HUBS just trading sideways now at 422.29. We are out of SNAP. It got me out just at the right time, guys. Just at the right time. Snap got me out. That was absolutely beautiful. Maybe I moved my stop loss up a little too soon, but that's a-okay. You win some, you lose some. We can just go and be over trading, wouldn't it, ladies and gentlemen? So we need to keep an eye on that. Netflix's selling zone. Sell stop loss 337, target 302.29. So let's bring up Netflix because I absolutely love and appreciate Joshi always showing up here, always being a huge part of the show, Joshi. So thank you so much for giving me your areas. So Joshi says Netflix is in a selling zone. Sell stop loss 337. Let's look at so 337. I can understand that 337 most definitely being an area of stop for a stop loss. This, though, making new higher lows, if it wants to push this, this is still concerning to me, especially if we're coming into a very volatile time in the market, which is the after lunch hour, the power hour, as some people call it, and it's creating these new higher lows. This thing could definitely head on higher. But Joshi, you know, I hate to deny you because you have been right quite often on this show, and where this is at is looking like a big drip, as I talked about in the pre-market prep this morning. This big drip here looks like it could easily keel over and fall on to the south side. So we're definitely going to keep an eye on Netflix, but I do love those levels, Josie, so thank you for that. Now, guys, if you don't know, or you don't know, if you haven't taken a little peeky gander just yet, let me go ahead and bring this up, guys. I have my show right here in front of you. If you scroll on down, let's get 20 likes, guys. I only need 30 more minutes to get 2 more likes. Absolutely, I absolutely love to hear that. Our goal is 20, and whoever's unliking it, well, goodness gracious, you caught my attention. Please, oh please, only kidding. Only like it if you like the show, and make sure you're lit up. Okay, you can't hit it more than once or we'll lose a like, okay? So make sure you hit that like button and hit that subscribe button, guys. If you hit that subscribe button, it definitely helps me out tremendously. I'm trying to grow this YouTube channel to be the absolute primo, where everybody goes. This is where everybody's show wants to be, while always keeping up on the comments. I know you guys like and you love to see that, and so I always keep up on the comments. I try to remember everybody's name and what they like to trade. It does seem a lot to put on me, but this is what I love to do. This is my passion, and I want to be here for you just as much as I want you to be here for me. So hit that like, hit that subscribe button, baby. And if you guys have something you want me to take a look at, just throw it up in the comment section right meow. Right meow. Now, Netflix looks like it's just above that VWAP area. Let's take a look at our overall trades with the SPY. We'll put the SPY up here, and it looks like the SPY wanted to push up above that VWAP high. It pushed up just above 411, traded at 411.68, pulled back, broke through VWAP, and now will it create a new higher low on my 1 minute? Let's zoom out on the 5, and then we're going to go into my overall trades and what I am thinking is going on. So just trading in this VWAP area, this is a good sign that we didn't just sell off and then rip on down even lower. We talked about that this could be a great area to long, and we proved it by taking a few trades and making a little bit of money in front of you today. Now, what do we have right now in the middle of the day? Well, we're just kind of trading sideways. Our range is 412 and 410. It's touched both of those areas, and that's why I'm calling it our range, right? That's our 5-minute range, is this area. When it's sitting here in this middle, I don't try and pick a side. I let it pick for me, and then I'll play off of one or the other, right? So that's what we're waiting for. We're going to see what exactly wants to happen in this area. Now, one thing I did completely forget about, guys, which is very, very scary, is I'm 100 shares short in VKTX. That 100 shares short, why I didn't look at it, I have no idea. Maybe I totally forgot that I was in it, but this VKTX short, I am short in, and I'm happy with the short if it wants to continue to head lower. But this looks concerning to me. The fact that it broke out in this area, that would be an area of stop loss. Now, I don't want to be a part of this if it wants to keep on heading higher. So I'll just go ahead and put my stop loss above this area now that we have concerned areas of support and resistance. So right there is my stop loss in case it does want to hop me out. I have overtraded a little bit too much today. I will admit that for sure. I do get excited. I don't get to trade all week. You know, I don't get to trade all week, and when I do, it's only 1 or 2 trades, which is fine. It's okay to have just 1 or 2 trades when you're playing. You need to make sure, though, when you get to moving and you start being wrong and wrong again, you need to make sure that you're taking those profits, you're using risk reward, and you know what you're playing. You're not just hopping into everything. So I'm saying that not just to you, but I'm saying it to myself too. I want to stay pride. I want to stay true to what I say, and that's a big one for me, guys. I always want to make sure that we're learning from our losers, and most of my losers are from overtrading. Maybe not so much today, but a lot of my losers are from overtrading. So make sure you keep that in mind when you are trading, that you have a starting amount. You want to have you want to make sure that if you are losing money, you have like a max loss, right? So my max loss is around $200. If I lose $200 in the day, I got to stop trading. I have to stop trading. Now, if I make $200 or $300 in a day, I also stop trading. Guys, I don't want to be too invested in the time, okay? Now, options traders like to know, and they know about the time decay, right? Well, here's the thing. Same thing with mental capacity. You're going to lose the ability to trade things right if you do into too many trades or looking at the market too hard for too long, right? So I have my trades, I have what I want to see work, and I know what I want to be in and what I don't want to be in. But if I start getting overwhelmed, I start forgetting that I'm in trades like VKTX, well, that's going to be bad news bears for me, right? If this thing keeps on and ripping to the north side, and I go, wait, why am I down $1,000? Well, it's because I didn't set my risk reward. It's because I was not paying attention to what I was in, and that's something that we can learn from. So remember, you're only a loser if you're not learning. And today, I was a loser because I did not learn. But now that we have learned, I'm all learned up. I'm all schooled up, baby. We're good to go, right? We're good to go now, baby. So we learned a little something from that. VKTX, hopefully, and I say that respectfully, is the blow-off volume. I've been trying to find this VKTX top for a long time now, and losing a little money trying to find that top, but if we find it, when we find it, we might have a nice little trade to the south side. Now, the SPY is just trading just below that VWAP area. And I know in low floats, not to say that this is going to trade anything like one, but when we have something trading just under the VWAP and it doesn't crack, that usually is bull buildup to the north side. So we're going to see if this thing wants to keep on keeping on. Now, let's take a look at RETA. My RETA trade, let's see, we're up about $119 in total on this trade. We're up about $20.50 on the day. I do like this trade. I do like the fact that this trade is continuing to head higher with the overall market trying to push up off those 410s as well. And same thing with IoT. I exited out of this trade, guys. I got real nervous. It was more of a panic sell since it never really broke any key levels. So this is something that I'm going to have to go back to tonight and really ask myself what I did wrong here. Now, I already know, I told you guys first thing this morning, I added into this a little too soon and it was too heavy. I was holding too many shares, 225 on a stock that moves 4.3%. I was not able to hold on to the downside. Now, that's why I always preach risk reward. You need to understand, even when you're adding into the trade, what your downside risk is. So when you wake up the next morning, you're down $100, you don't just panic sell out of it and, oh gosh, I got to get out of this trade. You need to make sure that when you do things like that, you understand where you're sitting at completely on those levels. So, absolutely beautiful for this trade. I love IoT. I hate the fact that I've already exited out of this trade. You know, the fact that if I would have held onto this trade until it broke this area, now if it would have broke this area, I would have felt really sick. But it is heading higher. If I was still in this trade, I would probably get some out in this area just because this is its area of resistance, okay? So just throwing that out there. So we're going to keep an eye on it. AI, let's take a little peeky gander. AI, VRNA is at or above. VRNA, we need to come back to that. VRNA looks like it's having a breakout here, guys. VRNA, nice little breakout of its top. It's also a pharmaceutical company. I have been watching VRNA for an awfully long time, but this breakout I cannot take just because it keeps on keeping on to the north side. So I do want to put that on the watch list though. Let's take a look at VKTX. It looks like it wants to keep on keeping on. Okay, we're out of VKTX because it broke those tops. RETA, we're still up. It's still ripping to the north side. Absolutely beautiful on that trade. Let's take a look at AI. So AI isn't doing much down here, guys. It did not do exactly what I wanted it to. So any lower than this, I'm probably going to start exiting out of this trade. We're going to go ahead and set my stop loss for right here. Let's say right. Well, we're going to give it some time. I got the rest of the day. We're going to give it some time on that one. I don't want to set my stop loss too high just because I know that this 20 holds. I know that this 20 holds. It's the whole reason why I'm in this, but I also don't want to be in this. I don't want to be in this if it's down there with 100 shares. Okay, so I added this 20 in, 25 in while I was up here. So I'll probably release that 25 shares if we break below this VWAP area. So I think what I'll do is I'll just go ahead and chalk that in, guys. I want to protect my downside risk. This is awesome that I can do this in front of you guys so you can see how a losing trade could work. Now, this isn't necessarily considered a losing trade. This is a trade that's just working right now. So if I added 25 shares in and it's not doing what I wanted to on the breakout, but it's still holding the original idea of holding that 20, then I want to get rid of the shares that I bought in for the breakout because it's not breaking out. And then I'm going to hold onto those last so I can see, wow, there's a lot of chatter going on. Absolutely beautiful, though. Absolutely beautiful. We're going to see what the overall market wants to give us in these areas. So the SPY did another push up to that 412 area and then sold off again. But is it going to hold this VWAP? That would be absolutely amazing to see. Now, what I actually need to see is what's going on in my hot swings here. So if I can bust this open for a hot second and see maybe... there we go, mark at or above. Okay, we're not getting anything too cray-cray going on. Let's see what the gap up scanner has for us today. EYPT, we have MGRX, ONTX. That's running right into an area of resistance, it looks like. ONTX. So these are all the pharmaceutical names, guys. These pharmaceutical names, you got to keep in mind, they are on a run just because, well, keep an eye on AI. It looks like volume's starting to come in again. But it's not a lot, guys. It's not a lot of volume, so it's not that exciting. There's not a lot of exciting things going on with AI right now. I'm just expecting that volume to come in for this area because everybody is watching, and I say everybody, just everybody and their mother is watching this $20 area for it to rip roar to the north side. So if volume can come in here, I still have high expectancies for AI. I love this accumulation. I love the fact that it pulled back, it retested this area and stayed above VWAP. So I have multiple convictions to the north side for this AI stock. Now, if it doesn't want to happen, that's A-okay. I've been wrong plenty of times before. That's why we have stop losses. If the stop losses want to stop me out, I'm going to be A-okay with that because I must. Oh, see it, B. Stewie. Thanks for stopping in, brother. Much love, brother. Much love. So if we want to be in the stock, we're going to stay in the stock. But obviously, if it doesn't want to break out today, maybe it'll break out in a couple of hours. But if it starts to break down, that's not part of my trade criteria. I don't play accumulation breakdowns. I'm playing accumulation breakouts, and that's what we're trying to play now. So if it starts breaking these levels, I don't want to be a part of this stock. Okay, so we're going to go here with the first 25. We'll go here. We'll wait on the other pieces, but I need to see what else is going on. VKTX, wow, what a rip roar to that north side again. Wow, it's hard, man. And I've said multiple times this $20 area is strong. So why am I not playing off the 20 and I keep wanting to short this thing is just because of the overall market back there to the short side. So keep that in mind. Dude, I still like this as a short, but you know, I've been fighting VKTX for too long. You know, it's almost like step back, step away from it, give it some time to breathe, you know. ON looks like it's back up here at the breakout area, still holding this downward, holding this upward trend line and this 10 and 21 day moving average. So ON, absolutely beautiful. You know, you love to see that. Let's go look at, so RETA back up there towards its highs today at 100. Same thing with IoT. AI, got my first piece out of AI right there. And I think I'm just going to have to do me a favor and take out another 50. And we're just going to hold on to that last 25. Yeah, there it's going now. It's starting to head down, and I don't want to hold on to any of it. So that was a good trade. That was a good try, I should say. I would take that trade 1,000 stinking times, guys, just because I absolutely have made a killing off those accumulation breaks, but we did not get the volume to come in on that. So we are exiting the position, and we're going to leave that last 25 set in there and ride for, let's say, the break of the low. So the break of that 2017, okay? So we're going to hold on to that last 25 to see what it wants to give us. Now, I want to run through the overall markets here to see what is actually happening. What's going on? So the SPY looks like it's trading in the middle, just like we talked about. Most likely going to trade sideways after it hits its ranges. The QQQ broke up to that 317, now pulling back to 316. We're going to see if it wants to hold a new higher low. If it does, it's going to be absolutely beautiful for the overall market. AI looks like it's starting to get a small soak on that bottom. IWM just trading right into that resistance area. I'm expecting a big pullback for that. NASDAQ looks like it's doing the same, just trading sideways today for the NASDAQ, as the dollar trading at 101.84. Now we have the VIX, the volatility index, pushing up a little bit, but only at 1716, so nothing really to talk about, as Netflix just trading right in that same area. Not too much movement for Netflix. Now Microsoft is getting that pullback. It's looking like a healthy pullback, though, still above a VWAP, but still on a discerning downward trend. So keep that in mind for Microsoft. Now we have Amazon looking like it's finally hitting a little bit of a pullback here. It makes me want to play that pullback just because you know that Amazon is hitting that 200-day moving average, and that 200-day moving average can be very concerning for a lot of people, just because if we look at the history of the stock, the thing has pulled back from that 200-day moving average multiple times. So when we see things like that, I like to play off of things like that. Now we tried once, we lost a little bit of money on that. What did we lose? 17 bucks. So no big deal. That's why we cut our losses quick, and we're looking for the bigger swing trades on these guys. So right now, right at a 200-day moving average, right at those highs, I really like this for a short, and we're going to see if we can get in for that short before it just starts flushing down on us, okay? So we made a little money, we've lost a little money, we're close to break even today, but I want to see if I can make some real money when things start to fail here. So let's go ahead and get me in this trade, Amazon, before I start getting grumpy butt, because I want to be in it to win it, baby. So at these highs, at these lows, actually I should say, right? We're going to go ahead and get rid of the rest of this AI, even though we're only down $5 on that. We're going to see if it wants to hold. Let's go ahead and get me in this Amazon short, if you would be so kind, please. Give me that short. Give me that short. So let's see what else we got going on. Okay, you're out of here. Thank you. Oh, goodness gracious. Great balls of fire. Let's take a look at QQQ. The QQQ looks like it's trying to bounce off that VWAP area. This might be really nice. Well, it doesn't look like it wants to get me in this short trade, and that might be A-okay. Oh well, you know, sometimes that happens. We're going to see if it wants to before we get out of here. Guys, we got 9 minutes. We got 9 minutes left. Thank you so much for joining the show. And if you're still here, let me know in the comments what you're looking at so I can leave you with a little excerpt. I want to give you a little something. We're out of AI completely, and we are still trying to get into this AMZN short. I don't know if it wants to give it to me, but it does. It does want to give it to me. Of course, you know what that means. If it wants to give it to me, then it's going to head right back up to the north side, guys. And that's how it works, but that's A-okay. Sometimes you're just on the wrong side. But today is a good day. Today I get to do what I love, and that is thoughts on FRC. Goodness gracious, Blacktricity, is good to see you. FRC, my good friend. Let's take a little peeky gander. Well, if we look at FRC on the daily, you guys can see that it's just been trading sideways down here. Let's bring up FRC over here. FRC looks like it's a huge flush here, but the thing is, it's flushing right down into an area of support. So this FRC, we've been watching this thing for quite a long time now. Wow, this is hard to see. This thing's been trading really sideways. It's not been doing anything too crazy the past 2 days, but a huge flush here. If it wants to hold support at this 375, that might be a good look for a pullback on support, creating new lower highs for FRC. Now, I don't know what the news or any catalyst is behind FRC. I don't know much about the stock, but I do know if we look at the hourly on the stock chart analysis, we can see that it is holding these areas, this 1257, and then it created a new area at 1381. And it keeps trying to push up above these 1450 area. If it can push up above that 1450 area, we might have a nice breakout for FRC. Okay, so I do like FRC in this area, but we need to see where this is going to catch. Where will this catch for a trade to the north side? Or maybe it breaks this area and then heads lower. But heading lower on a short trade, we need to keep in mind that there is a lot of support sitting below it. So keep that in mind for FRC. Now we had earlier we were looking at a few stocks in that sector. This morning we were looking at WAL was one of them. So let's take a look at WAL, and we need to put the Amazon over here, AMZN. So if you look at WAL, you can see, oh goodness, not that. WAL. So there we go. There's WAL right here, guys. And if you look at WAL, we know for a fact that this is pushing right up at the top. So if you're trying to find a leader in your sector, you know, we want to find the things that are trading at their highs with the most volume, and WAL might be one of those in this area. Now, there's plenty of other stocks that are doing very, very well, but if you're looking for something where you can make a pretty penny on, you know, whether it's to the north or the south, you can either play this as a breakout, or respectfully, you can probably because you need to know what your risk reward is and if this is your trade or not. But for WAL, you could use this as a short area as well. So keep that in mind, guys, that we do have a few things to look at, not just FRC. But you're absolutely welcome, Pedro. I appreciate you squeezing some time in here and saying hi. Much appreciated, much obliged, and you know I appreciate what you do, brother. So if you have any charts that you have shorted today, you need to let me know, brother, because I want to bring it up. No trade on my phone, so I can't do YouTube and trade. Sorry. No big deal, brother. A-okay, man. I just appreciate you stopping in, Damsey. But no big deal. I'll see you next time you're on here. LOL. But yeah, man. So AMZN, we're up about $13 on this trade. We're going to see if it wants to just flush on us, because I like shorting at that 200-day moving average. If it wants to hold here and head on higher, that's great for the bullish sentiment, but right now I'm just trying to make some money. So right now, if I look at the overall history of the stock, every time it's touched the 200-day moving average, it's flopped. It's belly flopped. It's failed. So if I can play this just right back down to 104, that would be a nice little trade, couple $100 on that. But we need to actually be able to hold and play that. No trades today besides a swing position for Pedro. Very nice. Do you mind me asking what your trade position is? I'll show you mine if you show me yours. It looks like the SPY is trading at 411.30, coming back up to that VWAP area, looking very tasty. VKTX, good thing I'm out of that short sale trade, because it's pushing right back up into those highs. Wow, what a beautiful mover for VKTX. I should have played that 20 one more time, but hey, sometimes I go against what I say. From now on, it's going to be trade analysis, stock trade, technical analysis only. You know what I mean? So now we're back up here for the highs on RETA. We've gained another $30 on this trade, this swing trade. At $126, we're up on the swing trade. I got to be honest with you guys, I don't want to take profit here. I want to keep on holding, and I don't want to let go of this until it breaks the 10-day moving average, because I have a good feeling that this thing might break out. But because I've messed up my other trade on IoT, I'm not going to add into this breakout trade. I won't. I cannot. It hurts too much, and it's too discerning for me to do it. It does not help with my play. Okay, FRC for the long, I see. Looking for potential squeeze above 15. Yes, sir. I'm glad that we see the same thing, Pedro. I'm glad we've been trading long enough that we know our levels, we know our locations, and we know what each other are looking for. So yeah, above that 15 is definitely going to be a squeeze trade on FRC because we have constantly made new lower highs and new lower highs. So what do we see with new lower highs? Well, let me mark it out for you. New higher low, new higher low, new higher low. And then if you come over to here, new higher low. Let's come over to here more. Right here, new higher low. New higher low. I'm sorry, these are all new lower highs, guys, okay? Then we had this come up and break this new high. Didn't break it, but it held this area. Broke it, I'm sorry, it broke it. It pulled back, but now it's holding a new area. So that's really, really nice for FRC. And if it wants to hold all these new lower highs and hold an area of support around 1375 or that 13 area really, then we really could see a nice tasty trade to the north side. So I do really like that. So guys, we only got 2 more minutes left. So let me just go ahead and say thank you. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for all the comments, all the questions, and thank you for being a part of this ever-growing community. So make sure you leave a like, hit that subscribe button before you guys leave here, because I know that it helps this channel out tremendously. And I want to be here for you just as long as you are here for me. So hit that subscribe button, guys. Thank you so much for being here. I absolutely love doing the gosh darn thing. So we'll see you next Friday, and keep an eye out for that pre-market watch list on Sundays. Peace!